Hey everybody, what's going on? Welcome back to my channel. I'm so excited to be here tonight. We have Ready to Love Miami. We have a special guest from Ready to Love Miami with a Q&A and meet and greet, and that is Sampson, one of the castmates from the show. Shout out to everybody that's joining us right now. Shout out to everybody that's in the chat. Hey, my soulmates. If you have not liked this video yet, definitely give it a thumbs up. If you have not subscribed, definitely subscribe to my channel. I would love to have you here and incorporate you in with my other soulmates. And I want you to be a soulmate as well. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and begin. And you guys know that I like to go around the room, have everyone introduce themselves and where you can find them. So let's start with my amazing co-hosts, Tyler.
Hey, thanks again for having me. Tyrone E. Wilson. You can find me at Ty Wilson 21 on all social media platforms. I'm real easy to find. It's always a pleasure to be up here. Tonight, again, we have Sampson, Sabrina. It's always a blast. I look forward to it tonight, just like I look forward to every session. So let's get it.
Let's get it. And Sampson?
Good evening, everyone. My name is Sampson Daryavala from the Ready to Love Miami cast. I am one of the newest members of the Seoul Mates, and I'm a subscriber and I'm a fan of the show. Really happy that I'm here with Tyrone and Sabrina this evening. I'm definitely missing Gus and, of course, Jamie. So right here, y'all. Looking forward to speaking with y'all soon.
Thank you. Trust me, I'm sure Jamie and Gus might be sliding in the comments.
Oh, that'll be awesome. Maybe they can slide in the video.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so let's get started. So the very first thing with the Q&A and the meet and greet, you guys know that this is for you guys. You have the option of asking Sampson anything that you want to ask him. Just make sure you put it in the chat. Now, if you're not camera shy, definitely click that link that is pinned at the top of the comment section. It is a StreamYard link. If you click that link, you have the option of coming on the screen with us and asking Sampson your question directly. Say hi, shout out. If you have a comment for him, you have the ability to come on screen with us and to do that. But if you are camera shy, make sure you put all those questions and comments in the comment section. And then as soon as we get that opportunity, we'll go ahead and put it on the screen and then we'll just go from there. Now, let's go ahead and get started. Yeah, and thank you guys that are coming in right now. I see you trolling in. Make sure you hit that like button. Thank you guys. I'm ready. Okay. I don't even know where to begin because it's so much. I already said to myself, I was like, we're going to be here for a while. So I have my tea. I have my water. I have both
Cheers to you.
Just in case.
I already know. I was like, it was Ty drinking tonight. I thought you had a glass of red wine. Typically, you drink red wine, right? No.
Yeah, I switch it up, red, white, drink, but I stopped drinking as much on camera. So I usually just stick to the water or what did I have last night? The vitamin water. So, yeah.
So.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, whatever y'all are drinking, keep doing it because y'all both look super young and healthy. Y'all look great.
Right. Thank you.
Sure,
well,
for sure.
Actually, before we even start, I just want to say, I don't know where you are right now, but behind you looks so elegant. It looks so nice. Where are you? Like, that's a really nice setup you got going on back there.
Yeah, well, I'm a Marriott ambassador. And I've been a part of the Marriott family for over 2 decades. And so when I typically travel here in the U.S. or abroad, stamping passports, I check into a Marriott. Marriott hotels are the best for me in terms of their service, their food, their concierge staff, their rooms, of course, and their events. So it's all about the Marriott Bonvoy experience, but currently here in Tampa. And this is one of the media salon rooms that they offer their ambassadors. So I'm very happy to be here with you all. Okay. So welcome.
Wow. Thank you. Shout out to Marriott. Super plug. All right. All right. So Ty, do you want to start or you want to start with the chat?
Sure, man. Like this is what, our third, fourth time I was chatting.
Yeah, I feel like we're family, man. You're like cousins now, bro.
Yeah. and you know, we've seen some conflicting stories. So I just wanna like um I guess I
Address.
wanna end that we get some, you know, like I said last night, I'm all about growth. I'm all about integrity, accountability, and also having the audience get to know you, right? So what's up with Samson? What is the deal? What's going on? Well, first of all, how you feeling first? And then you can answer that question.
How am I feeling?
Yeah. How you feeling?
I'm doing. Life is good. I'm in a field that gives back to people, and so my heart is
Mhm,
always full. I already mentioned to y'all earlier before the show started that we're here supporting Hurricane Ian survivors, and
mhm,
we lost going on 130, I want to say, people that we lost lives
Wow.
to
mhm,
here in this one disaster. So,
mhm,
but we also get to see the best of America after these events. We get to see
mhm,
people helping people, neighbor helping neighbor.
mhm,
My heart's always full when I'm in the field supporting our fellow Americans. It's always nice. On a family front, I'm looking forward to the holidays. I can't wait for
mhm,
Thanksgiving. My birthday is the 26th.
Oh,
I'll be
wow.
mhm,
Happy early birthday.
Thank you.
mhm.
Appreciate that, Sabrina. I'll be 49 years old.
Wow.
And
You look
so
amazing, by the way. You look freaking amazing.
appreciate that. It's the
Yeah.
coconut water, and a ton of joy.
Mhm,
And then just starting my Christmas shopping already. I got a ton of family, and I like to get a head start before the holiday rush. So I was out
mhm,
shopping today, just getting some of the gifts. I like to give gifts, so just trying to get that handled and squared away. But thanks for asking.
mhm. And the second question, there was a second piece, right? Like I want to,
Um, what's going on with Samson? You said,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. I mean, you've been busy these last couple days, these last few weeks. And
a lot of
there's been
interviews. Yeah.
some, yes, the interviews. There's been some added exposure. There's been some things that I know Sabrina and I have been concerned with. I know how we see things from our point of view, but I just want to
Mhm.
get a feel for how you are feeling about it all.
Well, today I got a disturbing phone call from my girlfriend who received a threat. And so my number one concern is for her safety. Um, Not sure if this is anything to do with Ready to Love, but she's never been threatened. I've never had anyone threaten me or threaten my girlfriend or any girlfriend that I've had. So I'm trying to figure out what's going on because it's not that serious. TV is TV,
Well,
and
I'd like to know how, first of all, you've never told anybody on any social media platform who your girlfriend is.
yeah,
So I'm trying to figure out, let alone how did they get her number, let alone how they even know who she is. Like what was said to her?
I've been seen. There is a story that was posted after the show, and so some people saw a very quick shot of her. Some people on the show do know her name. It can't keep everything complete secrets. Some of the production knows who she is.
Mhm,
Um, it's just unfortunate that, again, it's just not that serious.
What did they say to her?
It's she doesn't want to be involved with any of this, right? So we're just going to continue to spread kindness, encourage the people around us, and we're not going to be getting into assumptions. We have no clue where this came from.
Well, I'm
So
sorry about
yeah,
that.
I'm glad that you can say
Definitely.
sorry because I'm sorry too, and I can only think to myself of who it could be if related to the show. but I don't even think that.
So you
but
posted.
I don't walk, Sabrina, I don't walk around with people disliking me, my family, my friends. We don't get down like that. You know, I don't have a record. I've never been arrested. I don't associate with people that fight and throw mud. And so just if you got something to say or do, bring it to me and leave her out of it. And so I wanted to start off with that out of respect for her. And just to Ty's question, we're doing good, man. Despite two voices in my entire world, we're doing very, very good. You know, so I'll leave it with that. And but I look forward to all the questions from you all and everyone in your chat.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm just so curious about this. So when you posted her, did you post her in your stories? Like, was it a post on your timeline, or like what's going on? I mean,
it was a story. It was a story. And also, they saw me at one of the church concerts.
Who was that?
People on the cast.
Oh, okay, okay. So then you should know that. So you can kind of counter down to, you know, narrow it down to is somebody that either you was on the show with or production or whomever. So because I'm thinking it's like you know, somebody that watches the show. Like I'm like really curious, like what the heck? But this is inside, that's not outside.
Again, I'm not going to assume. I just hope she doesn't have enemies like that, and I don't either. We just don't run like that. And so it's just odd that the people. It's just odd that the timing of this is happening. That's the only thing.
You might not have like enemies in real life, but it is a lot of people that's coming at you because of the show and because of some of the interviews that you've done and some of the things that you've said. Like, I'm not trying to. No, yeah, and I'm not trying to say that that's what it is. It's just I just don't want you to be oblivious and to be kind of naive.
Just bring it to me. Don't hate on someone that wasn't on the show. You know, like
I get it.
She was on the show. Just
I
bring
agree.
It to me. Be a man. Be a man. Come to me.
People don't care. So just be careful out there. Like, we're gonna move forward because I don't want to, you know, keep talking about her, especially if you know you don't want to even discuss her. But you just need to be cool, and she need to be cool. Y'all just need to always.
We got it. I appreciate it, though.
Watch your bearings and stuff because you don't know what people are capable of out there. You know what I'm saying?
I got good people in my corner. You know, I'm a Fed.
Yeah.
I got law enforcement in the family. You know, we're good. You know, we're doing all of our checks and balances. And trust me, if that person is found, then it's going to be on. You know, and that's not a threat. It's just it's not anything. It's legal. It becomes a legal thing. And I look forward to those types of opportunities. So anyway, let's move forward.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, Tyrone, I'm sorry. Please continue.
Oh man, like, yeah, that's unfortunate. Samson, so sorry to hear that. Yeah, just you know, we had mentioned the interviews, we had mentioned the way that things were going. We wanted to get an idea of how you were feeling. I'm not sure if we want to start to our very first interview and how those things went compared to some of the interviews that you've had recently, because it seems like there's a big contrast in that, right? So I feel like we definitely have to touch on that. And it's related to your journey throughout the show and your stance and you know, your goals and the way that you move throughout the show. And I think some clarity is in order because it seems like we heard 2, 3, 4 different approaches. So can we start there with some clarity?
Yeah, we could definitely start. We could definitely start at the beginning if you like. So I'm ready for any question you have. I'll answer it.
Okay, so your approach throughout the show, what was it?
To be me, and to get to know the ladies that were on the show, be cool with the guys that were on the show, and just enjoy the journey. That was my intent prior to day one. The mansion mixer, the pool party.
Were you really serious about, I don't want to say seeing if you could have a relationship with anyone on the show? Were you ever serious about trying to have a relationship with someone on the show?
I went on to the show, Tyrone, knowing that it's highly unlikely for me to meet someone on television that I would probably end up with. Just knowing my track record in life. I have, I'm quite selective. I'm measured, and I'm very content with solitude. I'm very content with my life with family, friends, and just the way I move right now. But it's not like I had a void that I needed to fill. But going on to the show, I was like, okay, maybe I'm open to the opportunity of finding love. And you just never know where it may show up. So when I was interviewed, I told him just that. I said, highly unlikely, but I'm open to it. So that's how I got in, knowing that the likelihood is very low. Just looking at Ready to Love, the little bit of due diligence that I did, it's a very small percentage, Tyrone, of people that walk away with love.
Yeah, understood. I wasn't trying to cut you off, but in an effort to get some clarity, I want to try to focus a little bit. So I was asking, were you intentionally trying to have a relationship with anyone on the show?
Intentionally trying to have a relationship.
Did you take the process serious?
I took the process serious, yes, because it was a contract, but there was no one on the show for me. If you want to start with that, we can definitely start with that. I figured you want to kind of lean into that, but if you want to start tonight with that, then yes, I knew from day one there was no one on the show for me.
Yeah, I'm only going there because I feel like there's a lot of things that we already know about you. There's a lot of things that you have explained about yourself. There's a lot of things that we could clearly see about you, right?
So I have a question to piggyback, and I want you to hold that thought because I just want to piggyback off of the question that you asked, Sampson. So my thing is that if you felt like in the very beginning, prior to even going on the show, you're like, it's highly unlikely that I'm going to meet somebody. I'm very picky. I'm very, so you're saying all these things. So if you know these things about you, then why go on a dating show on reality TV? Like, I just kind of want to understand what was your motive behind it. And it could be very well to promote your brand, promote something that you're about to start or whatever the case. I just kind of want to have a better understanding of what your real motive was. If you didn't feel like that there's a possibility that you could really find love on the show.
Fair question. I don't have a business that I'm promoting. I don't have paid clients as a life coach and mentor. I don't have a web page. I don't push it on LinkedIn. There's nothing. I'm not looking for a business opportunity through television. I don't have a brand. I'm not into social media. I don't care about followers and stuff like that. So for me, that was not the intent. But you got to realize there was 20 of us and all of us had the same sentiment.
I'm not asking about those 20. I'm asking about you.
I'm just letting you know that we all had the same sentiment. We all knew it was going to be a very low percentage of finding anyone on the show.
So before you even got on the show, what was your thought process and what was going through your mind and why you wanted to do the show? Because you just gave us all the reasons of why you shouldn't have even done it from the beginning. So I just want to know, why did you do it? Like, what made you do it?
I thought it'd be a fun experience.
Okay. Now we're getting somewhere. Okay. And that's all I'm asking.
But I told you all that, when we first met on your show. I said that.
Yeah, we're running things back for the Q&A.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, we're gonna address a lot of stuff.
Okay, I just figured y'all would want new. I was hoping for new questions, but I guess some of your folks want some of the old questions repeated. So okay.
No, so this is what I was saying at the beginning, right? I was saying, yes, you have come on. Yes, you have answered some questions, but it seems like some of your stances have changed. So we want to get clarity, once and for all.
Let's do it.
Right. So that was the very first stance that changed, right? Your reasoning for going on the show and the thought process for going on and your intentions with other people that were on the show, right? When it comes to dating.
So the stance didn't change. I came on, first time I spoke with y'all, same thing I told the producers, I think it'll be a fun experience. Why not?
Mm-hmm.
I might meet somebody, highly unlikely, but why not? Let's go for it. So the stance has not changed.
So I guess, I mean, there is a point where you clearly said that, you were trying to make something happen, right? You were trying to be serious.
I was trying to connect. I was trying to have connections. Yes.
It's just the pace wasn't the pace that you were used to, or something similar to that, right?
There were opportunities for me to try to connect. I saw some good people that I wanted to connect with. You know how sometimes you can meet somebody and not have any type of attraction with their physical or their personality, but over time, through getting to know them, their humor, their history, you can start to open up and develop something that never was there. So I was open to that. I've lived a long time, man. So I'm okay with not seeing something at first and possibly seeing something later on down the line.
Yeah, I understand that. I understand there's a lot of difficulties in there. But to get the clarity on the approach and understanding that you mentioned that you had known early, how you felt, like you literally just said, I forget your exact words, that you were open to trying. So I want to ask how you feel about the other people's approach, like the other ladies' approach. You feel that they were serious about finding a relationship?
I think there were a couple that were, yes.
Okay. Do you feel like they clearly understood your stance when it came to creating something, or your intentions?
I think the majority of them knew that there was going to be friend zones from me and from them. I think the majority of my connections knew that it was just a friend zone. So
at any point,
I don't know. Yeah, go ahead.
At any point, was this friend zone made clear? Or, you said we don't want to have any assumptions.
Right. It wasn't made clear to me, and I didn't make it clear, So, Brandy said it best. A connection is you exchange numbers and you're talking. Brandy had me in her top all the way through the end. I had her in my top all the way through the end. So we were connected. Same with Looney. She was in my top. I was in her top all the way through the end until she was eliminated. It's the reason why they sent me to eliminate her. So to answer your question, and what I would like for the true Ready to Love fans to understand is that a connection is just that you exchange information, there's interest, but maybe you just have those people around to make it to the end. Because like Brandy's situation, it was always Mike from the beginning, but she had to have 2 other connections to get to the end. I was one of them.
Mm-hmm.
The same thing applies. The only difference is Brandy had someone that she could actually see herself with. I did not.
Okay, so So you just said you didn't see that, right? I feel like you openly admitted to having sort of a pessimistic attitude about that before even coming on the show. Do you feel like that may have hindered you a little bit?
Yeah, yes, sir. I totally agree. Yes, I think it definitely hindered me.
Okay, so was there a point in the show to where you just simply stopped trying to
Stop
make a
trying.
serious? Was there any point in the show where you just stopped trying to make a serious relationship happen?
I never really put effort into trying on the show.
Okay, I like that answer. Do you feel like other people were putting in effort? Your other connections, do you feel like they were putting in effort?
I do feel like Shakira was putting in effort. Actually, I think all of the ladies were putting in effort. I didn't know about Looney and Brandy until probably mid-season, going hard in their routes. Looney towards Justice and Brandy towards Mike. Well, I actually saw Brandy a little bit earlier because of the picnic. But Charisse, I felt that her heart was open for love. And I think that she was ready to love. But then there was also some things that were happening, beyond camera and in the gentleman's lounge that made me think that it wasn't there, not just for me, but for other guys with Charisse. But for Shakira, I thought that there were, I think her heart was out there. Yeah.
Okay. I do have a follow-up question, but before I ask the next question, can you just address the fact that you asked for this, right? You wanted to do this interview tonight, the Q&A.
Of course.
So anyone in the crowd that's asking why I'm grilling, I'm not grilling. We're just getting clarity.
No. So I don't see any comments. I want the hard questions.
Oh, okay. I can see them. We're just making that clear. We're all about clarity.
They're coming down on you?
No, we just handled it.
Oh,
we just handled it.
Yeah, please ask anything.
Yeah. So, all right. So just breaking it down, you had mentioned that you didn't really take it serious. You also mentioned that, almost all of the women were taking it serious. I tried to ask at what point did you stop or kind of just go into this coast mode, right? I guess the follow-up to that is there any type of I'm trying to think of the word, any type of empathetic feelings for either the women or for any other men on the show that were taking it serious, to where they could have been in the position that you were in and actually creating something substantial? And I'm not trying to answer for you. I'm not trying to have a leading question. Go ahead, Sabrina.
Real quick, Sampson, do you have something else in the background that is on? Because someone just said in the chat that it's something in the background and it's distracting.
I was trying to push the Marriott Bonvoy brand.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Perfect. Hopefully that could help you guys. All right. Thank you. Sorry. Okay.
No problem. So to answer Ty's question, and that's a valid question, a good question, and I'm glad you asked it. And I'll keep it short because I know your audience likes short answers. This process, and y'all been through it, is not set up for a lot of empathy or compassion or patience. Everything is rushed. So I wish that guys can say, hey, listen, I'm not feeling you. Or girls can be like, hey, you're not my type. But there were girls that were going out with guys not their type. You've heard it on your own lives. You heard it on your own interviews and panels. I mean, there are guys that weren't feeling them, and And it's just like that, So the empathy that, even if you're an empathetic person, you don't have an opportunity on a show like this to be that, because you're only able to tell Tommy what you feel, and guys should not be gossiping. So if you're talking about what you think about a girl to another girl or a guy, then you're not a man, in my opinion. So you just got to trust the process. If the girls see that you're not here for them, they should put you in their bottoms, and vice versa. So no, empathy was not there the way it could have been for any of us. Thank you for asking.
Did you ever watch my season?
No, I just saw some clips of you, man. That's all. I don't have OWN, and I don't have Hulu Plus. So I'm a Netflix guy, and I do ESPN and CNBC for stocks, and I watch sports. So I got the NFL Network.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I was just saying that because there is definitely an opportunity to let the women know how you feel, right? Good or bad. And if it's, and if the motive is to coast through the show, you can most definitely do that as well. That has been done multiple times.
My reason for being even keel and across the board with all the ladies was not to stick around. I treated everybody the same because I figured it would eventually bring me down to the bottom. If you notice, I treated everybody the same way. No one was special. And so they would talk about that I wasn't treating any of them special, but I wasn't going into their bottoms for elimination. My first elimination was at the end. I was never in a bubble date. I was never in any of this. So for me, I was just like, it was shocking that I'm just showing up, being kind, listening, and bringing a small gift under $20 just to show who I am. And as a result, I'm sticking around till the end.
All right. So to address that, right? Like earlier we had mentioned, the good qualities that you have, like a large number of great qualities. So just you living, right, is a good thing in a woman's eyes, right? Like there's a lot of good things to say about you. But it sounds like you're saying that you wanted to leave. There was nothing there for you. You recognized that early. You wanted to get eliminated. But just you being your normal self allowed you to stay and get the votes to keep you around. Is that what you're saying?
I think I was a safe connection. It's a safe connection. And so it was easy. I wasn't a part of any drama in the show. I wasn't talking about other girls or other guys behind their backs throughout the entire show. I avoided cast members throughout the journey. And so I was safe. And so their connection with me was safe. And that's my interpretation. I went on dates with, you ain't even believe this. I went on more dates than anybody on this season. More dates. I had more one-on-one dates than King Randall. All right, so I was safe. I went on dates with everybody except 4 women. I didn't go on a date with Dominica because she was eliminated first. I didn't go on a date with April because she was eliminated second. I did not go on a date with Jamala, and I didn't go on a date with Kayla. Everybody else I went on a date with, and they were good dates. And the best part of Tyrone and Sabrina is that these were quality dates. Why production didn't air them is on them. You got to ask them. But the women were treated with kindness. The women were treated with patience. And it was fun. It was a fun experience. So me going in, hoping for a fun experience, I got that. And they did too.
All right. Can we take a quick pause real quick?
Sure.
All right. So I'm going to ask some of the questions that were in the chat, and we can go through them. You can say however you want to. And don't forget, guys, if you want to join us on the screen, the StreamYard link that is posted in the comment section at the very top. If you click that, you can join us on the screen, and you can ask Sampson anything that you would like to ask him. If you want to say hi, if you want to make a comment, etc. So the very first question is, Ravine would like to know, did you vote?
I did not vote.
Okay. Sionte says, didn't you tell Little Black Book that you wanted to be an actor?
No, I did not. I did not say I want to be an actor. I have acting opportunities being presented now since the show aired.
Okay. T Rose says, so this was when, because that's why I was like, let me not get too far into the questions or too far into the conversation, because they kind of go with what we were talking about. So when you were saying that, you really, what I pretty much asked you about going on the show, like, why did you go on the show? So T Rose wants to know, then why waste the people's time if you didn't really think that you were going to go onto the show to actually make a connection because of the things that would stop you from making a connection in your head and what you thought. So why waste the people's time?
Again, just speaking with my fellow castmates, I'll answer first. I don't think it was wasting time. I thought it was good use of my time, and I'm thankful for my time on the show. I met some really good people, and I felt like all of us were in the presence of potential love, and were able to see at least one couple walk away with it, Brandy and Mike. So it was a good thing. But in speaking with my fellow castmates, a lot of us had the same type of thought process. That it's highly unlikely that we're going to meet some. And speaking with other cast members from other seasons that have reached out, male and female, they were in the same boat as me, as a lot of us. So it wasn't wasting people's time. We just realized that meeting someone in real life that's going to be a love connection is 10%. Possibly what you're going out with. It's even less than on television, probably 2%, based on what the data says. So here's an opportunity for T-Row to understand, if you do research beyond just what you see on reality TV and find out who actually has a meaningful, lasting relationship beyond the TV, but beyond the cameras, it's less than 2%. So you see only Brandy and Mike, right? That's it, out of 20.
Well, Katie and Swayze.
Oh yeah. I'm sorry, Katie and Swayze as well. But remember, they didn't make it through the end like Brandy and Mike, and then also Jamala and Randall. They made it almost through the end, but y'all saw the reunion. Yeah.
So to address the wasting the time part, I think to be clear, I'm assuming it was meant for the way that you exited, and some of the things that you said when you exited about being really, really serious. And then that seems to conflict with what you're saying now. So
specifically what?
From your exit, right? There's things that you said during your exit about being serious. There's things that you had said at the reunion about being serious and really trying. And then it's conflicting with what you're saying now. Like, we understand that it's a low probability that you're going to find love. We understand the statistics of the show. This is just my attempt to try to address that question.
I see. Yeah. And I was still trying to put my best foot forward for the process. And at least give the ladies, quality time. So even though I knew it wasn't a love interest, it was still dating. It's still the dating process. I mean, how many times are you going on dates? You can still be friends with someone, right? So for me, I walked away saying, okay, maybe not love, but maybe a friend, maybe an acquaintance. So I tried to continue with that line of thinking.
Okay. So I just want to address that, because I have mentioned many times that if I could do it over, then I would have had those extra dates with people who weren't really my top connections, because it also gives them a chance to be on TV, to go on a date. It gives America a chance to get to know them. But also on my season, I was willing to have the tough conversations about, letting the women know where I stand. And if that is where you stand, then you could make that clear. So for the folks that are coming on the show in the future, if you just want to have that type of situation, you can. So is that something that you are understanding now? Is that something that you would change if you were to go back? Would you be more willing to have those type of conversations about the clarity on where you stand in the process?
I was told that when I say I was told by the experts, by production, that I was doing it properly. You're very rare, Ty, if you did that. Telling the girls straight up, this is what I don't like, this is why this ain't gonna work. The history of Ready to Love, they don't do that. The girls aren't doing that and the guys aren't doing that. So you're the minority in that situation. I applaud you for that. I just was not coached. I definitely wasn't told not to do certain things. They just kept on reminding me that, hey, you're playing the process properly. So I was happy that I was abiding by the game rules. And by the way, we all did. But you got to look at Randall. Randall had 3 women all the way to the end. He played by the rules better than anybody. And that's my boy. That's like my younger brother on the show. And so you can't be upset that Randall didn't tell his other 2 connections leading up to the couch, hey, man, why don't you just tell them that they weren't the one? You were feeling Jamala. Why don't you just say, hey, Kayla, it ain't you. Or, hey, Trinika, it ain't you. No, Trinika massaging his feet at the getaway.
Yeah.
So all I'm saying is what you did, it's rare, bro.
Yeah. We're not being upset. We're not being judgy. We're just trying to get an understanding of your thought process, where you're coming from, you know what I mean? Your mental makeup, your approach, and when and where these things shifted.
Yeah. That's good. I appreciate the clarity. What's next? What's the next question from the audience?
Okay, so what was the question I had up there? Oh, okay. Why did you get upset when you were eliminated?
Nichelle Rudisil. Okay. Nice name, Nichelle. I was bothered for several reasons. I had my brother flying in town that night. The ladies met in the lounge with Tommy early that afternoon. I got a call around 8 that night to meet up for my elimination date. So I'm already bothered.
Hold on. You said who called you and said what?
I'm saying that the date that night was very late.
Right, but you said Tommy called you and was saying something to you about your elimination date?
No. I said that I was gonna. I said that the ladies' lounge was early in the day with Tommy, and there was a whole span of several hours after they had met with Tommy for them to then call me late that night to say you have to meet in Miami to go to your to meet Charisse, when I'm supposed to be picking up my brother at the same time that I'm supposed to be on a date with Charisse. So basically production coordinated for me to pick up my brother, and they didn't have to coordinate that because I'm definitely picking up my own family at the airport. Flew into Fort Lauderdale. I live in Pembroke Pines. So why did it take so long for them? Why did it take so long for them? And she's asking, why did I get upset? I wasn't upset at Charisse. I was upset with production because.
But how did they know that you were getting eliminated? Because in real life, no one knew if you were going to get eliminated when Sharice walked into the date. She kind of.
I have more intel. There's much more to this than just my introduction.
So,
but production number one. Well, I was upside of. Go ahead, Ty.
Sorry. So let me just jump in real quick. So to be clear, when you walked in, you felt like it was going to be an elimination date.
No, not he felt. You're saying pretty much.
No, I'm asking. I'm just asking.
Yeah. So I had a thought that it possibly could be because it's the end of the season, right? It's the end of the season. Okay. And I said to myself, well, here it is finally. Because remember the getaway, I was up for elimination for the first time with Swayze. And then Tommy interjected on Brandy and said, LJ's out because he didn't show up.
Right.
He had a work thing, presentation in DC. And so I was like, here we go. That was my opportunity to go home because I just told Brandy on the lounge chair, you're a little too wild and spunky for me. So that's the first time that I had to tell somebody throughout this journey why I'm not feeling you.
Yeah.
I didn't want to tell her that, because she's mad cool. She's like, that's my ace right there. And I'm happy for her and Mike. So, but again, what Ty did in his season, telling different girls, I don't like you for this reason. I didn't want to do that, but I had to do that with Brandy at the getaway. So I knew it was going to be me up on the chopping block that night, but it was my time to go. So for Tommy to interject on Brandy to eliminate me because I just told her I'm not interested in you anymore. I see you moving with Mike. It bothered me because that was perfect time for me to exit. I had a good time, met some people, stage left Sampson. But he interjected and sent LJ home instead. And I was bothered also in the green room in the confessional because they were like, Sampson, tell us, that LJ, tell us what you think about LJ, going to a work visit. I'm like, hey, listen, if there was a fire in Miami, Swayze would have to go and cater to that fire. He's a public servant. If there was a hurricane, I would have to go and prep my staff to respond to that hurricane. So are we not ready to love because we have to do our jobs? So don't tell me that. You're not going to get me saying that. So who did they get to say that instead? Mike said that in his confessional. They wanted me to say the same thing that Mike said in the confessional about LJ not being ready. We all have to show up for love. He chose work over love. No, he didn't. You got to support yourself to be able to support a woman. So anyway, I was kind of bothered, about that situation, but it is what it is.
Okay, let me, because I don't want the questions to get too built up. So Lola W says, I have a question. Why did you ask if Kojo was gay?
That's the thing about some of these chats, man. They be hearing stuff like, I never said, are you gay? I questioned why he was twerking. I said, man, I saw you twerking on one of your IGs, man. I said, the men that I know, we don't twerk. All right. Then I said, and then I alluded on top of that. And I said, I was starting to wonder, man. I was starting to wonder about you. But I never asked him if he was gay. So that's what I want to make sure that people.
I believe you definitely asked him, does he like men or women?
I said, I was starting to think, which one do you like? And it's okay if he likes men or women or both. But I never, ever asked him if he was gay. And even if I did, it's okay if you are.
Okay.
I'm not homophobic.
You said it's okay if you are. So my thing, when I saw that, my first thought was, why even ask? Why
because
even
I'll
have
tell you
that
why.
come up?
Good question. I always wonder, you got to read your audience the same way you read the presenter. And so when someone's critiquing a male and a female in a relationship, sometimes you have to wonder where they're coming from. If a male doesn't like females, right, and a male prefers dating males, then maybe his thought process on me dating a female may very well could be off or obtuse or hard for me to understand. So that's just me wondering sometimes, like, if you're a man and you're going out with another man, and you're critiquing a man and a woman, it could still be fair, but it helps me understand the presenter. You should always understand your audience and the presenter. So that was just me trying to understand. If you're trying to critique, I just want to understand where you're coming from, because a lot of times men that date other men had problems dating women, right? And so their thought processes are different. So sometimes you just got to ask some questions to understand where they're coming from. He did not get offended at all. You know, we chatted afterwards. You know, there was nothing that he was offended by. So I really hope that you're not getting offended. It seems like you're getting bothered with the response.
So, I mean,
are you upset about that?
I'm not upset.
Okay.
All I'm saying is, I mean, I have family members, you know, my godson, you know what I mean? People that are close to me. And I just feel like there are certain platforms, certain areas where it shouldn't be brought up, right? It seems like you are trying to identify how you should treat him based on the sexual preference, right? That's what it's sounding like. And I don't think that's right. I feel like a relationship is a relationship, no matter who you're with, right? If you can keep it real, if you can be accountable and have integrity, then it doesn't matter, right?
I agree.
And I'm only saying that because it wasn't the first time, right? You've also brought it up one
with
time
Jeremy.
with us before. Yeah.
With Jeremy.
Yeah. And I felt some type of way about that as well, because I didn't think it was called for. I didn't think his approach would have been any different. It didn't seem like his sexuality changed what he was thinking or feeling about you or your journey. We were just talking about what we saw from you on the show. So
like you, I have family that have this, that are gay. I'll just say it. I have friends that are.
Yeah, you back.
Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, so like you, I also have people that walk in those shoes, and they know exactly where I stand. I have very
Yeah.
He's frozen.
He's breaking up.
Yeah. I'm gonna put myself on mute. I'm over here real quick checking something, okay?
Is that y'all or me?
Yeah, you back.
Is that y'all or me? My connection?
It was you. It was you.
So again, I have family and friends that walk these shoes, and I'm very free and fair as they are with these types of settings. So when you talked about the first time with Jeremy, I was trying to understand Jeremy. Just going through some of the chat that was happening behind the scenes, the reason why he was getting frustrated, I think a lot of folks were thinking that he was in attack mode in that interview with me. And even though I welcomed his perspectives, we all noticed him getting very, defensive. And so I was just trying to understand where he was coming from, and again, it's just me trying to understand where he was coming from with his lines of question. It didn't seem like he was trying to understand my responses. It's almost like he wanted to catch something. And I know he's young, but what concerned me, Ty, what concerned me about Jeremy, is that prior to me joining your live that night, he mentioned that the men on my season were trash. And then he mentioned, with you listening, the men in all the seasons, previous Radio Love seasons, were trash. So it bothered me that he said that in front of you, with you on a panel with him. And he said it about me and my 9 other fellas that are on this season of Miami while I was in the chat listening, because I'm a fan of Sabrina's. I'm a fan of you. I'm a fan of Jamie. I'm a fan of Gus. And so I was just like, who is this kid, talking about men being trash? Because I don't know men that call other men trash. So I assumed that this was somebody that needed to be checked really quick. So I wanted to come on. I'm glad that y'all brought me on. I answered his questions. I'm still frank, still friendly with the guy, but I was curious because I assumed that he has had problems with men in the dating world, the way he was coming off with his questions with me. And so it was no surprise that he says he dates men and women. It was no surprise to me. My assumption was correct. And I can see why some of the frustration that he had that day in the chat with some of the audience. A lot of men have problems with men because they date men. I'm still going to say it. It's the truth. Whether you want to admit it or not, I'm hearing this from my own gay friends, so, and they're not really close friends, but I know I lived in Atlanta. I lived in DC. I lived in some major cities throughout the U.S. I have a very large perspective on this.
I got to jump in real quick.
Yeah.
I mean, you said yourself, there's a low percentage of finding love. Everyone has problems with relationships.
Everybody.
No matter your sexual preference, right?
Yeah, it's not about sexual preference.
So, like you mentioned, and I'm just trying to be clear as much as we can. So you mentioned that you felt some type of way about him, and it sounded like you felt you needed to check him. And your way of checking him is questioning his sexual preference.
No, no, not at all. My way of checking him, like I told Sabrina offline, weeks ago, I didn't like the fact that he mentioned men as trash. That was the main reason why I came on, and I was going to talk about it, but I didn't want to open up hello to Sabrina's soulmates with why are you calling us trash? I was ready to go in, but I tempered myself, and I was just like, you know what? Nah, I'm not gonna check the dude. I'm just gonna say let's go with your questions. And we started talking about struggle. He wanted me to clarify struggle. He wanted me to clarify, pursue a woman, that doesn't pursue me first. And he got that understanding. And so he got his questions answered, but I made sure that I bit my tongue on the purpose of me coming in, and it had nothing to do with his sexuality. Me disrespecting anyone for their sexual preference is only if you knew how many people I have associated with or have hired, have promoted, have consulted me, and there's nothing close to it. So I can understand why you are collating the Jeremy experience with what happened with Kojo. Never am I looking down upon anybody that's different than me.
Well, since you had brought up the Kojo thing, it seemed like it was a repeat of the checking. Like you said it yourself, Kojo, are you questioning me because you had mentioned something about Kojo had mentioned something about your constant praise of Black women? And Kojo mentioned something about, yes, there are things that I could question you about, but I'm not going to go there. And you seem to feel slighted by that.
That didn't bother me at all. No, I remember the whole thing about
you were clearly bothered, Samson.
I don't think that anyone within the realm of reviewing reality TV can truly understand, me beyond TV until you get to know me, man.
Right. We understand that, which is why he said, I'm not going to go there. He said, there are things I could question, but I'm not going to go there.
As he shouldn't. He's an intelligent guy.
It seemed like you were bothered by that.
No,
and your immediate response to that was to bring up Kojo's twerking. So this seems like a repeat of the questioning of the sexuality whenever you feel slighted.
No, when I feel slighted, my face does not smile, bro. When I feel slighted, it becomes a meme.
Yeah, you weren't.
And I get very serious. It doesn't.
Yeah,
so
and
when I feel slighted, it's a different type of energy.
Yeah, you definitely changed.
When I was with Kojo, what was I doing? I was smiling the entire time.
You wasn't.
I was joking. Oh, bro, go back and watch it.
I watched it, Sampson.
Okay, but I've watched it. I said it. I was smiling the entire time. I was like, Kojo, I don't know any guys in my circle that twerk. I said it just like that. So there's no anger, there's no frustration, there's no feeling slighted. I was teasing the guy, teasing him. But you're trying to make something out of it, Ty. But I'm done with this conversation.
No, I was just getting clarity, man.
Yeah. I appreciate you getting clarity, but I'm done with this gay conversation because there's no issues. And the people, again, you don't know me. The people that know me know there's no issues with me, with the whole LGBTQ community.
We don't, which is why we're trying to get the clarity.
Yeah,
we don't.
But I just want to make sure that once I answer a question, you let it go. I don't want you to act like Jeremy tonight. Don't act like Jeremy tonight.
I'm not. I'm actually trying to get to the answer of the question.
So
I gave you the answer. Let's move on.
Real quick, so if someone in the chat, if y'all in the chat, if y'all can find exactly where in Kojo's video where that happened, let us know, and then we can pull it up, and then we can just listen to it. So it's because right now it's Tyrone against Sampson. So if you guys know where it is on Kojo's video, let me know, and then I'll pull it up. Okay.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
What else you got, Ty?
I mean, it was a follow-up. It was a follow-up question pertaining to the sexuality that bothered me.
What is it?
And it's because you mentioned it. You mentioned that you said that you need to do research on the person that is interviewing you.
Yeah.
Right? You said
same way an interviewer researches interviewees.
Yeah,
yes.
You said that. And you also said that the sexuality or the preference could hinder the way that they either process things in relationships, right?
Same way a straight person does.
Okay, so what I'm saying is, like I said earlier, I don't think that should have anything to do with anything, because I can assure you that I'm not trying to determine anyone's sexual preference before I'm interviewing them. I'm hoping that no one is doing it to me, right? I'm hoping that I can be treated as a human first that's just interviewing them before you determine how you should feel about me based on my sexual preference.
Yeah, I wish Gus was on right now. Because I think.
But why are you doing that?
Yeah.
Like, why are you doing that?
So again, you're assuming that's what I did.
No, you said it. You said
no,
it.
No,
you
no,
literally
no.
Said
I didn't. I'm not saying I'm thinking about Jeremy and as a gay guy thinking about me and what I'm doing or how I'm looking on television. All I'm saying, Ty, is that when he called men trash on all of the previous seasons, and he called the men on my season trash. And the reason why I came on to Sabrina's show, that bothered me and made me think, a man that calls another man trash, the only men that I know that call another man trash, that's what made me think. So I had no thought until he called you and everybody else trash. The men in all the seasons of Ready to Love are trash. I wish I would love to have all the men from all the seasons hear what this guy said and let you tell them and you ask them, hey, how did that make you feel? That this man calls you trash.
So like he's on the panel.
Come on, man, you don't do that. Would you call him
he's
trash?
On the panel. He's entitled to his opinion, right?
No, dude. No. It's right and wrong, dude. I'm not going to call you trash. I'm not going to call Sabrina trash. I don't call adults trash. And so why would you do that? Is this not makes any sense? You don't call humans trash.
So we were going to get,
that's the scum of the earth right there.
We were going to get there as well, right? We were going to get to, you know,
y'all didn't even say nothing. You know, that's what kind of shocked me.
Because
why don't
the context of, so from my understanding, because I was there, the context of what I felt he was saying was that the men weren't taking it serious, not that they're trash human beings, meaning that the men aren't taking the process serious, therefore they're trash, not.
And that's like me saying niggas ain't shit, but it don't mean that all niggas ain't shit. It means that I must have had an issue with one dude and I'm upset and I'm in my feelings. But you know, and for you to bring up his sexuality in that sense, it bothered us, you know, because and you know, that was the first time
did it bother him?
You know, let me finish, Samson. That was the first time that Jeremy was on our panel. And like it bothered me that night. You know what I'm saying? Because you did attack his sexuality, and his sexuality had nothing to do with the discussion, and how he might have viewed it had nothing to do with his sexuality. How he might have felt about you had nothing to do about his sexuality. So for you to, you know, bring it up in that sense, it's just, it was kind of appalling. It was kind of disrespectful, and it kind of offended like a lot of people. And then when that situation happened with Kojo again, and I think that's why a lot of people are feeling a type of way, because it's like, why do you keep bringing up, like, out of your whole interview that you had, the 2 hours and 20 minutes you was on with Kojo, the fact that he was dancing and twerking and he does whatever he does, what did that have to do with anything within that 2 hour and 20-minute interview that had to do with Samson? Like, why did Samson bring that up?
I thought it was funny. But no, just to clean the record, I definitely didn't attack Jeremy. For you to say attack is such a strong term, but I apologize now. If he felt some type of way about it, I apologize, Jeremy, to you right now. Did not mean any harm. I did make an assumption. My assumption was right. I thought you was a gay guy, which is fine. I didn't know you dated guys and girls, and that's fine too. But I apologize, and I'm sorry. I did not know it was this serious. And
it is.
Kojo, and by the way, Kojo, hold on, Sabrina. You told me not to cut you off, so don't cut me off.
My apologies.
And so, and for Kojo, I did. Hello.
We're still here.
Sorry.
Yeah,
we're still here.
Is everything okay, Sabrina?
Yes, it's just because since I'm doing the chat and then like I'm back and forth, I have to put myself on mute because I don't want it to be a bunch of clicks. So
yeah. So anyway, and Kojo already knows what I think about him. So it was a twerking thing with Kojo, so that's what made me tease him. But sorry, Jeremy. Let's move on. What's the next tough question from your audience in the roast for Samson?
Yeah, I don't think it's tough. I don't even think it's.
I love this interaction. I just want y'all to get an answer.
Right, but I don't want you to think that we're attacking you. We're just.
I don't think you're attacking at all.
Getting clarity.
I want you to be okay with the answers that I'm giving, though. I want you to be okay with the answers and move to the next.
But that's the thing. We're not getting the answer. That's the thing. We're not getting the answer.
I'm trying to be short and sweet. That way your audience can be okay with it. What's the next? What's the next question? I'll do my best to answer succinctly.
But it's not about the audience being okay with it.
We're the ones Q&A.
Right. But right now we're talking to you. Like, stop being condescending, Samson. Stop being an asshole. You really are. You are. And you're throwing indirect shade, and I don't appreciate it, and I don't like it. Okay.
Let's go.
Like, like, dang, we're just trying to talk to you. You know what I mean? And I understand that sometimes you're gonna have hard questions. You know what I mean?
All the time.
And that's cool. It's just that, you know, you have to understand that we are in a place where, you know, out of all the interviews that you've done, we're now at this place where we're talking to you about the things that we've seen ourselves, because we've seen the interview with Crystal, we've seen the interview with Kojo, we've seen the interview, and then we've seen you on TV, and none of them match. So it's like we're confused, and not just only Tyrone and I, it's a lot of the fans that are out there. Your fans, people that love you, are confused, and they're trying to figure things out too. So this is just for us to get clarity, and for you to, like, we're not interviewing you like to try to find out about you and the show. We just want clarity as everything as a whole, because stuff just isn't making sense, and we just want to understand. People are offended that you asked Kojo that question. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, you know, and you brought it up, and just because you thought it was funny, a lot of other thousands of other people didn't think it was funny. So we just want to clear it up for you. You understand?
No, don't try to clear anything up for me. That's number one. I'll clear up anything I need to clear up. Okay. But I appreciate you saying that. I know exactly what you were saying.
Okay.
Okay. But I don't need any help clearing up anything.
Okay. Let's get to some of the questions. If Zoe left, why couldn't you leave?
I have no clue. I have no clue why about the Zoe situation. You got to ask Zoe.
Okay.
I do know this part.
Mm-hmm.
They were doing everything they could to tell Zoe that he can't just leave, that he has to come back.
Well, you know, we had an interview with Looney, and she actually self-eliminated too. And they let her go. They just had an exit strategy for her. Like she told them, she was like, I want to self-eliminate. So they let her go too. Just to let you know.
So remember what they said to me on day one was, you can't do it at the beginning. Maybe towards the end you can. So Looney's was towards middle to end, because once Justice left, her connection, and LJ left. I think LJ left after her. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So so it still kind of aligns with what production said. You can't do it at the beginning. Because remember, if everybody took that stance, it would be no show.
Right. Oh, no, I mean, we get it. We get it. Merritt would like to know.
Sabrina, mm-hmm. Apologize to you. You know, I think that the whole gay thing kind of got under my skin. I've never been, everyone knows my stance, my family, my friends, my colleagues, they know my stance on this topic. And so when Tyrone was making his point, and I'm glad, because he's defending that population that I defend all the time. I'm all about love over hate, similarities over differences, and unity over division as it relates to this specific community of people. And so hearing that I was perceived in a way because of my line of question to Jeremy, I can understand where it came from, because I was pissed about the trash statement. Hearing Tyrone's defense for Jeremy in terms of the definition of trash, it was not how I interpreted it. So I take full blame and accountability for misinterpreting what he meant. And I know I'm not hip to a lot of the younger terms. I just learned what T was. I didn't even know what T was. And so I know Jeremy's younger and he's hip. I'm not. I'm old. I'm not as hip. So, and with Kojo, you said thousands of people, are feeling some type of way or hurt with that statement I made because he was twerking. I apologize. I think Kojo knows where I stand, but I want to also apologize to you. I definitely don't want to come on here and make you feel like you can't just have an adult conversation. You know, I definitely was just bothered with, I defend this community. I have a history of defending this community. I stand up for these people. And so, because they're still humans, it's like they're no different than us. So when I say us, I'm talking about straight people, because I'm assuming y'all are straight. So I don't know. I have no clue where y'all stand. So I just wanted to take a second to say, sorry.
I appreciate the apology. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, let me get back to the questions, because I don't want them to feel like where was I? Merritt said, would he change, or would you change how you presented yourself to Ready to Love audience outside the show? Example, your interviews.
Outside the show, my interviews.
Would you have done them different?
Have y'all seen the majority of my interviews?
I've gotten clips here and there. I haven't.
You see bits and pieces, but we mentioned, I know I personally mentioned that I normally don't watch the other interviews.
Yeah. Well, I think the majority of my interviews have been opposite of this interview, or the opposite of what y'all saw with me and Jeremy. They've been really professional. Y'all are professional, but there have been elements on your show now tonight and the night with Jeremy where, I felt like the attack was coming at me from Jeremy, and I felt like I also responded to Jeremy in a poor way. But the majority, I would say, has been great. The feedback has been resonating on a positive note, and my agent that I'm working with now is saying that the likability level is pretty high. So I'm very happy with the interviews that I've had. I did one with the Crawleys last night, and I'm also liking the feedback that I'm getting via social media. Would I do some things differently via the interviews? Probably not, just because I'm just being me. I think my success over the years has been a product of me just showing up being me. Can I always improve? Of course. We call it areas of improvement. I always look forward to listening to what I'm saying, listening to what I'm not saying, and try to get better, because I never ever want to offend people. And I don't have a history of offending, but these interviews I offended, Jeremy, and I didn't know I offended Kojo until I'm doing this with you guys right now. So this is the first I'm hearing it. And I'll reach out to Kojo again tomorrow when I have some time.
I never said that you offended him. I just said that the comment was offensive. And for someone in the chat, I think I said that, or you said that it didn't appear that Sampson was putting gay people down. We never said that he was putting gay people down.
Okay, good. I'm glad.
We never said that.
Yeah, because I don't do that. I don't do that.
We never said that. And we're not going to act like you did, because you did not. So I just want to clarify that we never said that, especially on a sensitive topic like this. Like, let's be mindful of our words and let's be specific about it. Just like you said, you didn't ask him if he was gay. You said you asked him if he liked men or women, and someone asked you in the chat, why did you ask if Kojo was gay? And you said, that's not what I said. So subjects like that, let's just be mindful, everyone. And let's just, because I don't want it to seem like we're putting words in people's mouths and we're saying this. Let's just all just be respectful. And like I said, sometimes we're going to have hard questions. We're going to have hard conversations. We can also agree to disagree, but it is what it is. And also too, people keep saying, why are we asking you these questions? Whatever. Everyone, just FYI, before this even happened, Sampson came to me and said, I want to do a Q&A. I want to go on your panel and I want to do this. He even went and said that he wanted to do a Sampson roast with me and some of my panelists. Like, Sampson asked for this Q&A. Okay. So it's not like we brought him on to humiliate him or to attack him or whatever. So you sensitive people, if it's that sensitive, log off now, boo. Log off, sis and bro. Okay. Maybe you'll be fine to watch the replay. And it might have, do I have a little sarcasm in my voice? Absolutely. Yeah. So stop it. Okay. Let's move forward. Let me get to some of these questions. So Kathy Proctor would like to know, what is the driving force behind your need to be praised or recognized as the hero? Do you like to compete with people? And I ask because you talk and compare yourself to others from the cast.
Comparing and contrasting is always a healthy thing, especially if you have a competitive nature. I do compete when it comes to athletics, anything sports. When I was in Morehouse, I wanted to compete because I came in as like the dumbest person in the class. Most of the kids that I went to college with, they were brilliant. They were A students all their entire life. I came into Morehouse barely getting in. And so, but I looked at it as a competitive opportunity. So, but to the question, what is the driving force behind your need to be praised? or recognized as the hero. So I totally get it, Kathy Proctor, why you're asking that. The TV show did characterize me as, I mean, Ty said it perfectly. You know, he's coming off as perfect. If you watch how Ty reviewed the show early on, Sabrina was like, I can't put my finger on him. Ty was like, the dude's damn near perfect. I'm not. You know, y'all see through my interviews that there's a side of me that y'all didn't see on television. Well, this side that y'all see on these interviews was happening on camera. They just didn't show it. You know, they didn't show it. And so the lounges with Tommy and the fellas, I was lit. I was drinking whiskey with the fellas, and I was opening up, and I was saying things that aren't rehearsed. You know, they don't come off as perfect, but the cameras kept me looking like this clean cut, always saying the right thing guy. And I'm not like that. One thing I do as a life coach is I'm frank. I give people the truth and the hard things, the tough conversations, and I don't sugarcoat it. And so, and that's why I'm effective at what I do. So I have zero need to be praised. I praise one thing, and that's God. I praise God. I don't need to be recognized as a hero because I don't even believe in heroes and sheroes. I just don't believe in that word. I think that there are people that are out there that are in leadership positions that can become great leaders, better leaders. And that's the people that I coach. I coach leaders. I coach managers. I coach supervisors. This is what I do. So no, there's no need there.
Okay. I'm sorry. Okay. So the next question we have is, where was it? Oh, right here. IMCC says, who were the other ladies that actually caught your interest?
Yeah, it was Looney, Brandy, Shakira, and Charisse.
Okay.
But I also liked Trinika's personality. Trinika has an awesome, bubbly personality.
Yeah, she does. Auntie Eva asks, I have a question. Shout out to Auntie Eva. She is a soulmate, a bona fide, real soulmate. I have a question, Samson. Are you interested in running for political office?
So, you know, I've been asked to support campaigns and be public speakers for people that are running for office, even as recent as this current election. I got a lot of brothers that are in politics from Morehouse. Big ups, Raphael Warnock. I got a lot of sisters that are in politics. Stacey Abrams, big up Spelman College. Our vice president, HBCU grad, HU. Anyway, there's opportunities out there. We'll see what happens in the future. I don't want to do it anytime soon, but once I become full gray and I look a little bit more presidential, maybe I'll run for, you know, city commissioner of some sort. I definitely love giving back to the community. So yeah, I can see myself doing something like that. Yeah. Good question.
Son Lewis would like to know, what has your experience been with social anxiety?
Social anxiety. It's been more so me trying to coach and mentor and just provide some mental support for my female cast. Social media has been tough on hair. They've been tough on makeup. They've just been tough on how they dressed. And I just tried to remind them that these people don't know you and they are just bored or bitter and just ignore it. But I'm 48. If the answer is about my own personal experience, I don't have social anxiety. Like I look at real problems and they're far beyond TV. You know, they're far beyond social media. I deal with people's lives in America. I deal with communities that need to be rebuilt. I deal with infrastructure issues. Like I have a huge team out here right now supporting hurricane survivors. And so that's what matters. There's no social anxiety for me personally, but for some of the ladies, it's been hard. So I'm here for them, and they know I'm here for them. I'm always going to be here for them. it's funny because I was cool with them on the show. I'm even more of a friend now after the show, because they see me beyond the cameras as being the same as what they saw me on camera.
Okay. My next question is I really liked how you handled Shakira. Are you and Shakira still friends?
Yeah, we're still friends. Yep.
Do you still, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Do you hang out with, I know you've been down working, but I mean, I don't know like how long you work, how many days you work. Do you still like, are you still cool with a lot of the castmates? Like, do y'all hang out and like do stuff?
Yeah. So they call me a lot, you know, and I want to call more and be involved more because I think that it was a fun experience again. And the friends that I had the friends that I have in my life have been around since high school and college. So it's always good to kind of bring in, you know, fresh blood and new energy and different perspectives. And because we have this once in a lifetime experience, it'd be nice to, you know, foster some of those relationships. But I hung out with Devin just recently because this is where Devin lives, here in Tampa. So I just met his girlfriend recently. Me and him were supposed to work out on Friday after the storm passes.
So he has a girlfriend.
Yeah. Devin has a girlfriend now. She's beautiful too. She's in real estate.
Yeah, I caught that too. That too.
Yeah.
Because we was just talking to him.
We was
just talking to him. So I'm in the real estate on the side as a hustle. I just sold one of my properties, lakefront properties in Houston, during the pandemic, and looking at a property in Tulum for Airbnb. It's a split unit, so I can have two different customers at the same time. But and Zoe kind of connected me with the Tulum Connect with some of his people. So again, great opportunities on the show that led to business opportunities that I never even thought would even happen. And then there are, you know, people that are reaching out because of my connections in different industries. So I would always love to just, you know, connect some dots and help people progress throughout their professions, throughout their careers, and just always be there for them. So yes, it's been fun. It's been a good community. I spoke, Looney and I, we text, you know, she's doing good with it. Her new career, she's working a lot of hours that she's not getting paid for because the flight industry that Brandy is in, they don't pay overtime. So that was what she just texted me today. You know, I'm always in touch with Brandy and Mike, of course, Randall, you know, it's like my little brother. You know, Cerise and I, ups and downs, you know, I got to meet her aunt and some of her best friends after the show, after the reunion. But then, you know, I posted something, I was being playful. I posted a face of Cerise being mad on set. And it bothered her. It really got under her skin. I think I played a little too much, but I'm like that. I joke, I play. Sometimes I go too far. So Sharice, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I'm not going to post any bad angles of you again.
What about Swayze and Kadian?
Oh gosh, I heard about that. I heard that she came on to your show and yesterday, and I want the best for them. Yes, I called her while she was doing a live with Kojo, and I really was genuinely saying, "Hey, keep your head up. I'm happy for you and Swayze," but she sees it as fake, you know. And I'm being serious, you know. I was happy. I didn't see them working it out because I didn't see him liking her, you know, because Swayze likes, you know, Latinas, but he actually has something strong with her. And so I'm really happy that actually worked out. But you know, my girl did say that she saw Katie acting up last night, and, you know, it is what it is. I mean, I'm not going to say anything bad about her or any of the castmates. It's not going to do it. She's good people in my eyes, and I'm happy that she has love in her life. And that's it. I'm leaving it at that.
So let me ask you, because you said that, you know, like Swayze, you just said that he likes Latinas. So you knew him. Did you know him outside of the show, like before the show?
No, it's just what he's told us, you know, told me and some of the guys on day one, you know, that it's, again, highly unlikely for him to find love on the show because he's into Latinas. Kadian knew it too. You know, I was on a date with Kadian, Swayze, and Kadian's friend. I was there, but they cut all that out. I was sitting right next to Swayze for about 45 minutes of that date, but they only used the part where Swayze was sitting by himself with them two. I came in 45 minutes after they already had drinks and was eating. So I was the fourth person to show up. And so Kadian's friend was going in on him on that topic, you know, why haven't you dated Black women for 3 years? Mm-hmm. And so, and Swayze was honest, you know, just like this hasn't happened, you know. But he also shared with us that he preferred at that time in his life just to date multiple races. There's nothing wrong. He's in Miami too. Do what you want to do. You know, we all are attracted to something different. And so, so when I did have some friends in town, and because this is what my girl told me, I just invited them out. I said, "Hey, listen, man, we got some friends. I got some friends in town. You know, if you want to hang out, we're going to go have some dinner and drinks. They're good people." You know, even though I knew that he still had a connection with Kadian and Charisse at the time, it was just like, just hanging out. It's like, why not? So it is what it is. You know, I hope the best for them both.
You know that she said last night, was it last night? I'm doing so much nowadays. Well, anyway, she said that.
It was last night. Yes.
What? Okay. She said it. You're right. She said that you actually called her and was like, "I'm so happy for you and Sway. Like, y'all are together in a relation." And then, like, right after that, you was like, "Yeah, what's up? Like, I got some folks in town." Like, it was like you knew they were in a relationship.
No.
And then he said that he had you on speakerphone and he heard you telling the girls, like, "Yeah, you gonna like him." Da 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 da.
Yeah. So we didn't know at that time that. You know, we knew that Swayze, his main connection was Kadian. We knew all of that, but I didn't know that he was committed to her because he was having ups and down days with her, especially after he met the girlfriend. So
but you called her.
We didn't know it was. We didn't know. Yeah. The call that I had made to Kadian was more about, "Hey, Kadian, you know, don't leave the show, you know, because there's people that like you on this show. You know, there's people here that liked you." So I was kind of saying this to anybody that I thought that could find potential on this show in terms of relationship. I was saying it to them. I said the same thing with Jamala. I said, "Jamala, you know, you should stick around. There's potential on this show for you." You know, I said the same thing to Kadian. So when I saw potentials, I was nurturing that. I was hoping for something like that. But I also knew what we were hearing in the gentlemen's lounges, you know? So even though I'm encouraging stick around, there was nobody was still ready for a commitment at that stage. And by the way, even if he was in a commitment, you know, it was just hanging out with some friends of mine. It was no big deal. It wasn't like, "I'm gonna hook you up." My friends ain't into the hookup type of situation. They're older and mature. Y'all met one of my exes on the show, Ellen Bell. She's not into that. You know, it was her friends. You know, so it's like.
So pretty much Swayze took it as that, and you're saying it wasn't even like that.
It was never. I don't hang around people that's trying to have a one-night stand while they're in town. I don't hang out with people like that. You know, so it's not a. I wish there was more follow-up. Like, "Hey, Sam, what you trying to do? You know, I'm in a relationship." He didn't say any of that. You know, he was just like, "No, I'm good. You know, I got to work." He had to work the next day, or he was on call or something. And so I said, "Okay." I didn't know he was with Kadian. You know, it was no disrespect. It was just hanging out. You know, I'm not sexing these girls, and I wasn't expecting him to sex these girls. This was just guys going out with girls. You know, just live in Miami. It was no big deal. Yeah, I could hang out with other guys without them thinking that I'm trying to break up a happy home. Yeah, it's just like, yeah. Now I know.
Yeah. Real quick, because I don't want to ignore the questions. Let me see, right here. Nichelle would like to know, has you, I was about to say, has you ever been in therapy?
We have Employee Assistance Program in government, EAP, and I've definitely had opportunities to contact them with my girlfriend, where we're just doing like preventive maintenance. It wasn't to get over issues, but it was like to prevent issues, or how can we do this better? Or these are some challenges that we're having, almost like couples therapy. We did that. And so it's a free service that we get these sessions as federal employees. So I've done that, and it was powerful. Yes.
Okay. The next question is, I'm sorry. Valencia says, have you ever practiced celibacy?
No, I have not.
Red Hot Tooth says, Sampson, what have your family and friends said to you about your behavior? What advice have trusted people offered regarding your dating life?
Well, first of all, what have my family and friends said about my baby? Well, they've enjoyed the show. They enjoyed the entire journey. My mother did not like how I spoke to Charisse at the elimination date. Mm-hmm. She said you should have kept your composure. She's right. But she also knew that I wasn't, bringing up old stuff. She knew that I was trying to say, hey, listen, if we're going to talk about girls, and we can talk about guys. My mom knows that I'm all about healthy balances. So, so she knew where I was coming from on that, but she didn't like my tone. She did not like my tone at all. So my mom checked me on my behavior. Yes. What advice have trusted people offered regarding my dating life? Well, they knew y'all heard this already. In my 20s, I was just trying to get out of debt and focus on my degrees. 30s was about climbing the corporate ladder and having fun. I wasn't trying to commit. I had some girlfriends, but I wasn't trying to commit to marriage. And so, and then 40s, I decided to really slow down. So the trusted people in my circles have said to me and remind me, hey, Sam, remove some of the standards, remove some of the expectations, remove some of the criteria, and learn that you're not a complete package yourself, So it's been a very fair analysis, and I know these things. I take this pill myself, and yeah, good question.
Tyrone, would you like to come in?
Sure. I got a question, but I want Sampson to take like 5 to 10 seconds before you answer. It's a question that I like to ask.
All right.
The folks, once we're about an hour in or so. 5 to 10 seconds. How you doing, man, with everything that's going on? You do a lot in your personal life. It's different exposure from the show. Take 5 to 10 seconds and then let us know, like, how you really doing?
Okay. You're right. There's a lot going on in real life, where you really don't have a chance to look at self, because there's so many other things that you care about. My mother, she has diabetes, and she's mid-70s. Her faith is strong, but she's the eldest in the family now. I just lost my dad's only brother in a car accident earlier this year.
Sorry for your loss.
Thank you. And in that same accident where he lost his life, my niece, Havobi, which means independent, she's been struggling with surgery ever since earlier this year, back and forth to the hospitals. And she came and played the sport that she loves, which is soccer, because of these challenges with her body now, because she was in the car where her grandfather passed away. So think about the mental and the physical anguish and challenges that my little precious niece is going through. There's sickness and death happening in my work life. People losing property and loved ones, animals and pets. That when you do it for so long, 20 years, Ty, sometimes you get numb to it. Sometimes it compounds, and it's hard to swallow, bro. And then you deal with, when you have such large teams the way I do, whether they're colleagues or they're mentees, just trying to become better people, better humans, better servants in this nation. You hear about what they're going through in life with their marriages, and as a supervisor, you absorb some of that. So this kind of stuff it takes a back seat to all of that I'm going through. So I haven't had a chance to really digest the Ready to Love experience. And so eventually I will, but right now there's a lot going on, man. I didn't even have a chance to attend the funeral of my dad's only brother. Rest in peace, poor Scott guy. He's up there in heaven. If y'all follow me on IG, there's a lot of tributes there to him. But life, man. But thank you for asking, man. It's tough out here.
Okay. I'm not disregarding what you said. I have a lot of sympathy, for all that, but you almost didn't answer. And then you finally said it was tough at the end. I was asking you, how are you doing?
I'm doing fine, despite it all.
Okay. Gotcha.
I think there's some communication. Never mind. Go ahead.
No. But I was trying to be clear.
I thought I was very clear with my response, but I think you were looking for something else.
No, I wanted to know how you were doing. How are you doing?
Yeah.
And then in the end, you finally said, it's tough out here. So I said, okay.
Well, see, like from when someone asks me an open-ended question like that, I like to elaborate. So whenever I ask someone like that in my line of work or family or friends, professional, personal, I expect a response like I gave. But you wanted me to say just that last 5-second piece.
Can I say something?
No. Let me get in real quick.
That makes no sense to me, but I think it's a communication breakdown. So I teach effective communication. And so I think our communication styles are very different. And most people in my world appreciate open-ended questions to be elaborate and detailed. And I broke down a lot of, how are you doing right now, Sampson, to you and your audience. And it felt like you said, finally, you answered the question at the end. That's kind of disrespectful, but it's okay.
No, listen, I was not trying to disrespect.
I know you weren't trying
to. Before I even addressed you, I even said that I'm empathetic about all the things that you are experiencing and going through. But then I even said that you eventually said how you were doing, how you were feeling, because that was the original question. And earlier in the night, we said that we were going to focus on clarity, right? And you even asked me, what is your question? I will answer your question. And my question was, how are you, Sampson, doing? I even said, take 5 to 10 seconds before you answer. How are you doing? But I appreciate you explaining all of these other things that are going on in your life, because the audience wants to hear all of this, which is why we're here.
Yeah. I just, that's how I'm doing. Again, I'm kind of selfless. So it's not about, how I'm doing, what's on my mind, what's consuming me in my head is what I shared. It's not, has anything to do with Ready to Love or this journey. So how I'm doing has everything to do with my family and the people that I support and that depend on me. So that's how I'm doing.
Yes, I understand. Like, I'm a mental health advocate, right? And I ask a lot of people who come on the show about our end. I ask them how they're doing. Like, I normally ask them twice. I ask them at the beginning, then I ask them again. But yeah, like everyone's approach to answering a question could be different, which is, part of the reason why we're trying to get a lot of the clarity. Now that I know that,
okay,
I
good.
will try to expand more.
You got it. So on that topic, then, how am I doing relating to this
Life,
journey?
like everything. I'm not even talking about Ready to Love. You, Sampson, the man, with everything that you got going on,
Yeah,
personal and everything. I said, because I know it's a lot. You said it was a lot.
yeah.
How are you doing, Sampson, the man?
Yeah.
How are you doing, brother?
Yeah. Well, it's outside of what I just shared. It's definitely an opportunity for me to be thankful to God, because the opportunities that I never thought would yield itself as a result of coming on this show has been so fruitful, man. It's just wild how a TV show can open doors that you never thought you'd even be in front of. And so that's the best part of this entire journey.
Sampson, I'm not trying to like get on you, but you literally just got on me for referencing the show.
I
And I
thought you said,
asked you again, and you referenced the show. We're not
right.
talking about the show. How are you, the man?
You started talking about your
That's
opportunity.
what I'm talking about, though. This is the part that I'm saying. This is how I'm doing.
Okay. Maybe I got it right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's I'm not. I know I could be talk about anything at this point. You clarified.
You're right.
So,
you're right. You're right.
So that's my response to your clarity.
Okay.
Again, I think it's a communication barrier here. I think you're wanting me to say something that I'm not saying, but I'm letting you know exactly how I'm doing. I'm very grateful and thankful about what's happening. That's it. And then the part that's not well with me is what I shared the first time I answered regarding some of the issues that's happening around me, in my family or coworkers. So I gave two different responses, man. That's how Sampson is doing.
Okay.
Yeah, it kind of hurt.
Appreciate it.
And then also very grateful, man.
Got it. I understand. I got it. Sabrina, you were gonna say something? I don't feel like I cut you off.
I just think that Tyrone really is just asking you, like, with everything, like, how are you feeling about, like, do you feel stressed out about everything? Do you feel like the show is weighing on you? Do you feel like, I actually feel great. Like, I wake up every day, like, some people don't like me. It's cool. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? Like, they do, they don't. I don't care. I still got to go about my day. I'm still in good spirits. It is what it is. I'm cool about the show. I think that's what it is, that he's just asking you, just personally, how can I put it? I guess he wants to know, like, adjectives. He wants to know specific words, not necessarily your situation that's going on around you. He wants to know personally, how are you feeling? I'm feeling sad. I'm feeling happy. I'm feeling overwhelmed. I'm feeling, like, I think that's.
Oh yeah, I kind of alluded to it earlier, and I'm sorry, you because Sabrina, you said he does want a Ready to Love answer, and Ty just said he doesn't want a Ready to Love answer, but I'll give a Ready to Love answer since Sabrina brought it up.
No. I was only saying that because you told me not to reference the show.
Yeah, just how are you feeling in general?
Yes. The only thing
with everything.
Yeah, it's my heart just goes. The way I'm feeling about that is the only thing that bothers me, if I can be frank, is the hurt that some of my castmates are experiencing. That's the only thing that's bothering me regarding that topic, sir. And there's nothing else. And it's unfortunate because out of 20, it's really just a couple that's making a couple of bad apples, right? Can spoil the bunch. That's what Big Mama used to say. And there's just a couple of voices that are out there that are extremely negative and pessimistic that are really hurting some of our women. And And it's sad because you talk about mental health that you do, right, Tyrone? I mean, I'm one of the sounding boards for that because I'm the elder on my season, and I have a really good active listening ear, and I'm always responsive. So when someone needs me, I pick up. So that's the only thing that really gets to me is how a couple of people are impacting many people. The men don't give a damn what's happening, other than them having a heart for the same things that I'm talking about. But it's the women that are truly being impacted, not just by interviews, but what they're reading on their pages or on Facebook or on Twitter or on IG. It's disgusting. Some of them even face to face with people on streets whenever they're out. You know, people think they can walk up to a girl and say whatever the hell they want. Some sad shit happening out here as a result of them just going on a TV show. So it's hard for them. They can't even avoid it unless they just stop looking at social media.
Is there anything that you have seen on social media that kind of sticks out to you and makes you feel a certain way? Is there anything that like really caught your attention and affects you more than others? Was it a comment, a post? Is there anything out there?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's people that interpret the show to be like real life dating. You know, it's like, come on, this is not real life dating. You know, you're talking about other people that you're dating, with the people that you're dating. It's just like, quit sizing up your experiences, your personal experiences in real life to what's happening with reality TV with 20, people on the production team, with 20 cameras and people telling you what you can and cannot wear, or people putting you on dates that you don't even want to be on, or in group settings that you don't even want to be on. When you notice when the cameras are on you and you're having a good quality conversation with a sister, respect, genuine, candid, open, free, with hearts being exchanged, but then the cameras leave because there's some drama going on the other side. Why would the cameras leave when the good stuff is being shot and go over there because someone's cursing someone out or someone is talking about something sexual? Nothing wrong with sex. Sex is a good thing. But why leave something that's about ready to love and go over to something that's ready for drama or ready for fighting or ready for everything that's opposite of love? So that's what bothers me, that the people that watch this show can't decipher, like what's real and what isn't. Even though it's not scripted, it's still produced. And it's produced by people that are on set with us and people that are somewhere else watching it live and putting together storylines and character sets. Y'all experience it yourself. And this is the biggest complaint that I think previous cast members have had, at least the ones that reached out to me, is that it is what it is, So that's why I think that's the biggest thing for me, is that true fans need to realize that it's still produced.
Well, I just need to say my piece, because I came on the show really thinking that I was going to meet somebody. Like, I really thought it was a real dating show. So I can't speak for everybody else, but I know for me, like I've said in my interviews when it was my turn to do interviews, like me and my daughter was in here and I mentioned that me and my daughter was in here and we had a whole conversation. And I was like, how do you feel about mommy going on a dating show? She was like, mommy, a dating show? Like, I had that whole conversation and we both were really excited. And I remember saying on my interviews that my daughter was like, mommy, you actually might meet somebody and fall in love. And she was like, I said, is it okay if mommy goes? And she was like, as long as you don't kiss anybody. Like, so I have to say, I really thought like it was a dating show. I didn't know how it was. I've never been on a reality TV show before. So Yeah, but after going on it and learning the things that I learned, it was, you know, slightly disappointing because I'm thinking I'm going on there and I actually might meet 10 men that have the same mindset as me, that, you know, are ready for a relationship, that's ready, you know. So that's what I really thought. So
you thought you was going to meet 10 men that were ready?
Well, no, I'm just saying, like, obviously they're on a dating show because they want to meet somebody. I'm on a dating show with them because I want to meet them.
Even though you knew there were 10, how many do you think that you were actually going to have an opportunity to actually fall in love with?
I wasn't trying to fall in love with anybody. I didn't come on the show to fall in love. I came on the show to find me a boo. I came on the show to meet someone and hopefully we could start to build something. You know what I mean? I wasn't trying to find marriage on the show. I wasn't trying to find my daughter a baby daddy on the show. I wasn't trying to find a husband on the show. Now, if I ended up finding all those things 2-3 years later, that's where the relationship ended up going, then kudos to the show. It worked. The process worked for me, you know, but it didn't happen like that for me. But, you know, I guess there are some people obviously that think like, I ain't going on the show to find no love. Let me go on here to promote. I ain't going to find nothing on this show. Let me just go on here because I need something to do. Let me go on this show because you see what I'm saying? So everybody has their own reasons, but I just want to say personally that I was one of the people that went on the show because I was really interested in finding someone to date because, you know, I'd been single for a while. So, and I thought that it would be fun too. You know what I mean? So
kind of hard to say no to Will Packer and OWN.
Yeah, I mean, don't get it twisted. It's cool. It's fun. I'm about to be on TV, but guess what? I might get me a whole husband out the deal too. Like, that's honestly what I thought. And that's why how the journey and the process ended for me. It was so disappointing for me because I really went in there thinking this. And what I got was, you know, some of the men did not have that mindset, you know? So it was just disappointing. So.
Sampson, was the entire process a positive or a negative for you, mentally and emotionally, and why?
Positive. I got to see what the camera world was like, what reality TV was like. That was kind of exciting to see. I was happy that my family and friends were able to see the person that they know on television, just with people that they don't know, because they never get to see me dating, right? They know how I am when I date. They've heard from girlfriends, but they never got to see it. So this was the first time that my mom could actually see it versus hearing perspectives from ex-girlfriends. So in that, it was a huge positive because they love watching it over and over again. Yeah, I'll keep it short.
So I do have, I'm sorry, a bunch of the questions from the chat.
Hold on, before you go, Sabrina, Tyrone, I see Tyrone's facial expression again. Tyrone, you want me to elaborate? Or I know some of your audience likes the responses to be short. And so I'm trying to I don't know how to weigh this, man.
No, man, I asked
your
you.
Audience, Sabrina says he's so long-winded.
No, how about this?
So long-winded, so I'm trying to be short to make your audience satisfied.
I'm gonna just ask you. I asked you, was the experience from the show a positive or negative for you, mentally and emotionally, and why? Do you feel like do you feel like you answered that question?
Mentally and emotionally, I think it was a positive because of the energy that I'm getting from the people that have watched it that I know. You know, so I feel like it's been a positive. The only negative mentally and emotionally is when I'm getting people that are crying on the phone because they don't know who to believe, because they thought that there was some relationships and on the show that didn't pan out, and they thought that, damn, I put my life out there, my heart out there for potential love, and this person was lying to me the whole time. Or they were sexing someone, and it finally came out. And I'm not saying names here. So
no, we're not asking. Yeah,
I ain't saying names, but there are people like that. Yeah. There are people that personal. You're not supposed to date, between scenes. You're not supposed to hang out, but that was happening, and some of the truth is coming out, or some of the lies are coming out, and people are playing silly games, and so no one knows what to believe. But their heart was in the show, like Sabrina. Went on and was hoping that there could be a potential for something to develop beyond the show, right? And so they left with their heart open and then all of a sudden broken. There was so much that took place in that reunion that y'all didn't see. That has a lot of tears still flowing, a lot of question marks. I wasn't a part of any of that. The majority of us wasn't a part. LJ wasn't a part of any of that drama. Dominica and Calvin weren't, right? Because they were going so soon. So it was almost like the people that left early, like when I should have left, they were spared. But everyone that made it to the end, in the middle of all the drama, even Mike was in the middle of the drama at the very end with, what happened at the reunion, and he found love, luckily. And that's my boy, so that's the emotional and mental part that bothers me, Ty, just to answer your question. Ty, man, what's up, man? I answered the emotional and mental piece.
No, I'm not getting to that. There's something I want to bring up only because I hear and interpret a lot of things that you're saying when I don't know if you realize some of the things that you're saying and some of the things that we can deduce from what you're saying.
Deductive reasoning.
I don't know if you are realizing that you have actually said a lot tonight. And that's what I was getting at. So sometimes in your explanations, you end up saying things that either we didn't know before, sometimes I take a step back like, oh, okay. I can expand on that if you want me to.
Yeah, please.
But then also earlier you said you weren't aware of some of the newer terms. So I was going to bring up a term and it just made me laugh at the thought of me asking.
Bring it.
You sure?
Yes.
You're not gonna get mad, right? We all smiling.
I'm not gonna get mad, man. Again, the only thing that made me mad was the gay stuff, man. So okay. I'm not gonna get mad, but go ahead.
Okay, but do you know what dry snitching means?
No.
Okay.
Obviously, it's a bad term. Like you're talking about someone without talking about them.
Yeah, I think you mentioned. So you asked me to expand on it a little bit. I think you mentioned earlier that Swayze and Charisse were a connection.
Yeah.
Okay, so that would be something new.
That's nothing new. Come on, you saw the date.
I wasn't finished. I wasn't finished. That was something new that I was unaware of. I felt like it was always just a friend relationship between them two.
Well, I mean, you saw the date with them, right?
Yeah, we saw a lot of dates. I'm talking
about the long one with Charisse and Swayze at the very end. Remember when Swayze told Charisse, I don't see you that way. I'm just one woman type of man. I'm all in for Cadian. And Charisse was trying to say, hold up, but I like young guys and I'm into you. And she didn't know until that date that I don't know, but I don't think that she knew that Swayze wasn't interested. We knew, the guys knew, because in the lounge, he would say, that's Auntie. He would call Charisse Auntie. So we all knew, the guys knew, I don't think she knew. I think she liked Swayze. You heard at the reunion. Like Tommy said, hey, who are you feeling the most? And she said, Swayze. She liked his muscles. So, I think that again, Swayze has to keep someone around. So I don't know what he was telling Charisse, but he had to keep her around to stay on the show, to make it to the end with Kadian, right? You got to have other connections, people that you're talking to. So, that's what she told Tommy, that it was Swayze. So we knew that Swayze was looking at her like a friend, like an aunt, but she didn't know. So it goes to your point again, Tyrone, like in your season, you said you were able to tell the girls, I don't know how far you made it. I don't know if you made it to the couch, but he was able to make it to the couch, to the very end, because he had Charisse thinking that she was an interest. She was all in with him all the way to the end, just as much as with me. They only showed me in her. They didn't show her in Swayze until the very end. So it kind of caught all of us off guard when we was watching it. Like other cast was like, what? Because why does Charisse, not knowing where she stands with Swayze, when Swayze is saying to us the entire time that that's just a friend. So he just didn't tell her, that's all. So similar to this, it's just the process. He's just going through the process like everybody else. Similar to, I mean, everyone's looking at, giving Mike flack because he didn't tell Kayla straight up. That's not flack. He's just going through the process. His number one was still Brandy. Don't hate on Mike, This is the process. And I think he did it properly, the way he handled Kayla. I don't think there was any shade. I think all the shade and the trashiness is happening after the show. I don't think it wasn't happening on the show. At least I don't know it was. Remember, I was the least one in the conversations. So me watching this I was like the most paired up to what the audience experiences, because I'm not talking the way everybody else is talking. When my phone would ring and it was someone from the cast, I'm like, I ain't answering this shit. I would not answer my phone. I was like, hell no. There's no way, because I knew that they were not going to be talking about what I wanted to talk about, which is stocks, sports, trips, shit that I like to do. And so they were going to be talking about something else. So I was avoiding it, bro. But yeah, I mean, I'm not about to throw any shade to anybody on this interview here with you guys. I just want you to know that, yeah, I think Charisse liked them a lot. And it's okay. I'm glad that she had a connection with him.
She liked you a lot. She ain't like him a lot.
I think she liked me too.
She might have had him as a connection, but she liked you. Like what we saw from the screen, it was Sampson. Like we thought like y'all was together. That's why I thought you was really feeling her. Like y'all was kissing on screen and everything. Like, and that's why it was, well, right. That's a kiss. Yeah, that's what I didn't do. I didn't do that at all. So
I did pucker up kisses with two other women on the show. Again, you don't see everything.
That was an accident. With Brandy, that was an accident.
No, I'm not talking about Brandy. That was an accident. But I mean, again, they cut out 4, 5 full one-on-one dates of mine. 5.
Yeah.
So I was treating everyone the same, kind of. Some has got more time because that's who the cameras put us with. But you're right. I mean, Charisse had her tops, and I was in it.
Yeah, like.
But also, Sabrina, I'll just tell this. I've been saying on every show that I've been on, the experiences I've had with the ladies. I had some good experiences with the ladies. And so I just hated that the last experience that I had with Charisse was not good. But every other experience I had was great, and I can't have any regrets for that. The only regret is like what my mom told me about. Sam, why you do that? Yeah. Talking to Charisse. Everything else she loved. My mom's a good judge, she knows me. So for me, that was the one thing I could do different. I would change. The one thing I wouldn't change me up getting upset about the gifts, because it's like, come on, you when you date people, the way I date people, a small gesture is a small gesture, and a gift is nothing. None of those gifts cost over $20, not one. And so, like I was telling the Crawleys last night, conversation with the Crawleys, Tarsha and Kevin. I said, hey, listen. The girls weren't saying, you can't pull out my chair because Randall pulled out my chair. It's a nice gesture. It's what gentlemen do. Like bringing a small gift. It's what gentlemen do. You can't say nice things to me because someone else is saying nice things. You can't, it's like the gift should not have been such a big deal. Like it's just, we on this journey, you date a person as if you're dating one person. Now, if they take this back to the lounge, it should be like, oh yeah, he's in the process. This is what they're doing. They're smiling, they're talking, they're sharing, they're getting to know, they're being gentlemen, they're opening car doors, getting gifts. If other guys were giving gifts the way I was, it wouldn't have been a problem. But since I'm the only one, they made it to me. And by the way, if you speak to some of these girls in your interviews, they'll tell you how production was trying to get them talking about the gifts. They were okay with the gifts. They appreciated the gifts. But production was like, so tell me this. Do you feel special that Sampson gave you gifts? And then they have to answer. The same way they were trying to get me to talk about LJ not being ready to love because he had to go to work in DC. I didn't play that game. So some of them just played the game, and they, it's not getting sucker punched, but they sized them up on that gift stuff because they mentioned the gifts in like 4 different scenes, including the reunion. So you got to understand that's just produced stuff,
Yeah. So I have one question, and then I'm gonna go ahead. Tyrone. No, go ahead, Tyrone. Go ahead, Tyrone.
Oh man, Ty's frustrated with me. You're on mute, bro.
Yeah, because I was thinking about my question. Okay.
Come on, man.
I mean, there was talk about not playing the game. There was talk that you weren't interested, but then there's also talk about the gift giving. Yeah. So do you feel like the women could have been misled by the gift giving?
Not if they treated this like a real dating situation, man. Like you got to treat it like a real dating situation. That's like saying, you're pulling out a chair for everybody. Why are you doing that? If I'm special, pull out my chair only. Treat everybody differently. Treat them like a friend. Would you pull out a friend's chair? I would, but not everybody would. It's like, again, a gift is a gesture that gentlemen do. Just like opening a door, giving a woman your jacket when she's cold, or just different things that gentlemen do.
Do you feel like the women felt it was only a gesture of kindness?
Man, I'm not buying a girl a bag, So I brought a plant, man. I'm bringing flowers, bro. I got a journal, man. These things, like if you go to the gift gallery section of any store, it's like I'm on my way to a date. She's giving me time. Just bring something. It's small. I mean, people were upset that Devin didn't show up to Sharice's house with something in his hand. It's like so when you don't do it, the girls beat him up, and then when I do it, they get beat up. So it's like you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. Like,
right. So I'm only asking because earlier you had mentioned that you weren't feeling it. You mentioned that you wanted to be eliminated, but you still took the time to find a gift specifically for them that they would like. So I'm asking, do you feel that the women would feel like the gift means more than it just being a gesture?
No, I didn't think that, because I knew they were all going to talk about what they got anyway in the lounge, and of course they did. There's no secret that the talks were happening big time between scenes, not just in the lounge. Like everyone knew what they got. Like Sampson brought this. Oh, you got that? It was comparative. So I knew it was going to be shared. I did. If I was trying to avoid that tie, I wouldn't have got anybody anything. That wasn't a big deal to me. I wanted them to talk. Remember, like I wanted them to see where I stood with everyone.
Okay.
Same conversations, open, cool, chill, gifting. It was similarities across the board with everyone, man. No one got any special treatment.
Okay. How important is perception and public image? I mean, public perception and image to you?
Public.
How important is your public perception to? I mean, I'm hoping I'm saying this right. How important is your image to the public?
Very.
Okay.
Very important.
So the public perception of you, Sampson, the man, is very important to you.
Yeah, I have a reputation within government, within my family that I like to uphold. Yes.
Okay. So do you? No, I don't even want to ask that question because obviously you're gonna move in a certain way, and that's understandable, right? Like every man should. So I'm not gonna ask that question. I just don't want to. I just trying to determine if the movement was more for public perception of you or you playing the game.
I definitely wasn't doing it for public perception. My character on television is my character in real life.
Okay.
So I'm always measured with what I say. I'm always thinking before I speak. I typically have very little regrets in life because I take my thought process serious. And a lot of things that you hear me say, I've said before. And it's not like new material coming out of my mouth, whether it's professional or personal, whether it's me, my family, or people I don't know, whether it's me supporting a homeless shelter or me doing the same things I do daily on a job. There's a routine to my life as it relates to relationships, love, giving back, my holdings, my investments. There's a routine. And so it's very rare that I'm speaking about something that I'm not familiar with. So my public perception of self and how the public perceives me matters. Not because I have a business. I don't have a business, that I'm trying to promote, but I do have a reputation that I want to maintain. And I am, so the people that know me are extremely content with what they saw. It's been entertaining for us. I gave you a little bit extra, even though I know you didn't ask for the extra.
I'm good. I'm good. I'm not even fighting it. Okay, I'm not even fighting it anymore. Your answer is your answer,
Yeah.
All right. So can we get to some questions?
Sure.
All right. IMCC says, has this experience taught you anything about yourself?
That I still like what I like.
Okay. All right.
Thank you, IMCC.
What were you about to say, Tyrone?
Nothing. I was going to say that would have been a good time to expand, but but you decided not to. No, it's cool.
Okay, good.
No, I was just, about liking what you like.
Yeah.
But
it's the thing. Cool. I don't know when I need to.
But it's cool.
Again, with your show, I don't know when I need to elaborate. It's so hard with your panel. Like, and by the way, Sabrina, it's like this is your panel is the only one I've had these experiences with. Like when I read some of your the people that comment like after, like when you post all this afterwards on YouTube, I was like, dang. It's just, and it's like with anybody, like any of your guests that come on, I'm just like, golly, they answered that really well, but the audience didn't like how they answered it. And so your soulmates have a lot of soul, and they're very opinionated. And I think when a guest comes on, I figure that they'll have more good things to say about them. And I've seen some of the worst things in the chats from people.
I can't control.
I know you can't. I know you can't. I'm just like, golly.
They're their own individuals.
Yeah.
And they feel like you capping, they gonna say you capping. The only thing I can say about my soulmates are they're respectful. They're not gonna call you out your name. They're not gonna, you know what I'm saying, be nasty. But they're definitely gonna give their opinions, you know, and how they feel. Sometimes they say things about me. And, you know, like one girl, she just commented and was like, Sabrina, when your guests come on, you need to do this, this, that, and that. And I commented back and said, don't tell me what to do. And she commented back and said, yes, ma'am. She said, yes, ma'am. You know, and it's just what it is. But, you know,
I just have one request.
I am very protective over it.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, it's good that they aren't calling these people out of their name, but you got to remember, like, girls are very ladies are very emotional. And like when they're reading your stuff, you know, they're reading the comments, they're reading the live chat, even after it posts. It's not in the live chat. I'm saying they're reading the chat after it posts to YouTube, and they're taking it serious. You know, your opinions matter. So just remember, they're still your Black sisters, and support them and lift them up, because a lot of them feel like these are Karens, like they're not even Black women commenting, that they're actually white women commenting on these Black women that they see. They're thinking that a lot of the people are Karens. You know what I mean by Karen, right?
Yeah, I mean, I know what a Karen is.
Yeah. And so they're thinking that these are white women trying to talk negative about the Black women on your shows.
Hold on, I'm confused. Maybe you need to start from the beginning. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know, because you're doing
I don't want to
things.
Yeah, and I don't want to misinterpret and take it the wrong way.
So to the audience, say what you need to say to the men, and go hard, go in on us, roast us, do whatever you got to do. But when it comes to the women, just make sure that you're a little bit more controlled with your opinions or your disdain or your disgust, because they're taking it to heart. So some people are reading some of this and they're thinking that these are racist people that do not like Black women, because they're talking about hair, they're talking about makeup, they're talking about their style of dress, they're talking about how they talk, or their lack of education.
A Karen, because I didn't see sisters go on sisters.
That's what I'm saying. They're thinking. That's what I'm saying. They're thinking that these sisters are not sisters, that they're actually racist people just going in on them, and because they're hiding behind just a name and a blank circle versus a picture. They don't know who it's coming from. And so all I'm saying is the ladies, I'm not saying just your show, I'm talking about, you know, in general, that they don't know, like, why are these people coming so hard at them? And again, the guys, they don't really care. I don't really care. Like Kayla, you know, this is it, you know, she has like totally separate herself from what's going on right now. You know, I reached out to her today, you know, and said, offer my support. Oh, hey, Tyrone, is it wrong for me to reach out to my sister?
No, man. No, not at all. I'm just.
What's so funny, man? I want to hear it. I was a question for you. Why you laughed just now when I'm talking about Kayla?
No, because it finally got to me what you were saying previously. And I was thinking, you know, is he saying that white women are creating fake personas, watching the show, joining the Facebook groups just to talk bad about Black women's hair and skin and makeup?
Like, where did you get that information from? Like, what makes you like, because I'm so lost. I've never heard anything like that. This
feedback from, this feedback. I'll just leave it there.
That's why I smile.
This feedback, you know, and obviously it's not feedback. It's not my own personal experiences, you know. They're not talking about my hair. They're not talking about my makeup.
Because I know we were originally talking about my channel and stuff, and I was talking about how my soulmates go, and you brought up my soulmates. That's why when you started talking about that, I was like, wait a minute.
I started out with talking about your soulmates, but I've expanded to just what they're seeing in general in the comments. It's some people are having to remove themselves from social media and what they're reading. Like when they're doing lives, you hear people say, I'm not even paying attention to the comments. Like the ladies are just they're not even reading comments anymore because it's interrupting their interviews with the panels. And they're just like, I cannot believe. So they're basically responding to what's in the chats versus talking to you all.
I just call them trolls. I wouldn't call them Karens. I just call them trolls because it could be a man behind the, you know what I mean?
Totally.
Like,
I just don't know. I'm just saying that because they're talking about black hair and makeup.
It could be a man.
It could be a man. Yeah. I just, whenever I think that, I'm just thinking about, Trump haters, Trump lovers.
Or a gay man.
I'm still looking for that.
I was just being funny.
Everything.
I was just being funny, man. I'm just being funny.
We're gonna have to drink about this one. Next time we're in the same town, we gotta have a drink about that. We're gonna toast. Give me some more questions from your audience. Give me some hard questions, like those that hate me. I want some hate questions.
No one hates you.
I know there's some haters out there.
I need
There's
and
nothing to
exactly, and this is exactly why Tyrone asked you, like, how are you doing? Like, stop. No one hates you, Samson.
No. It's okay. I think you're taking it too.
I take everything
literal. What I'm saying, Sabrina, is like, I just want the tough question. I haven't gotten any. I thought there was going to be like some really tough questions. You know what I'm saying? Like,
there were some.
I can only ask you the questions that's up there. If you want some
you wanted to move on from.
Yeah, like we can let them know in the chat.
This one's I want.
I can only just ask you what I see. So
okay. If that's what it is.
I'm not eliminating questions.
Okay.
Yeah, no.
Remember I told you. So just to let the audience know, when I reached out to Sabrina, I said, "Hey, I want at least 20 toughest questions to be presented." And remember, Sabrina, I was like, "I want the tough stuff." And but these have been kind of easy. But I know that there's some people that didn't like how I ended the show, how I talked to Sharice, and I know we addressed that. But if there was anything else, if thought that was fake because I didn't like anyone on the show and I was faking it all the way through. I know there was people thought I was trying to build my life coaching business. I don't have that, or there was something else. How can he be a mentor? Or how can he be a life coach? He needs to coach himself. Like, I'm not licensed. Yeah. I'm not certified. I don't have these things.
Yeah. So I do have questions. So if you want, you can give short answers, however you want to answer. But this question just popped up, and I'm sorry, you guys, for the questions before this question, but it just popped up. Did you stop filming Saturday and pop up on Sunday with the girlfriend?
That's Marriott. I've seen Marriott before. So the Sunday after my elimination date, I told my current girlfriend that I met at church that I would like to start seeing her exclusively. And she welcomed that idea and opportunity. But no, there's no dating. And by the way, it's the girlfriend term. We got to just realize that just because I'm dating her exclusively, so I'm not dating anyone else. It's not like a full-blown commitment. We just started dating, Yeah. So I've known her since the beginning of the year, but we didn't date at all before the show. We didn't date during the show. She wasn't going to have it. I wasn't going to have it. So once I was eliminated, that first Sunday I went to church, and that's when I was able to speak to her. So that's when the dating started, right after the elimination. A good question.
Okay. She actually wants to know also, and I'm just going back to her because this is one of her earlier questions. Do you regret doing the show?
No. Would I do it again? Probably not. Something where, I would just say I don't regret it.
Yeah. What is your type?
Oh, wow. That's a good one. Toyin C. Divine or Devine. I like an athletic build. I'll give physical first. A woman who's athletic. I like brown-skinned women. Sabrina, you barely meet the You're so light skinned, you know. You're like my complexion, and so
I am not your complexion, Sampson.
You're just a little bit
you're high yellow. I'm brown.
It's got the bright light shining on me.
Caramel.
Yeah, you're caramel. You're like caramel mocha, which you're beautiful skin, by the way.
Thank you.
But I like a little bit darker. I like a woman with full lips. Because I have hardly any lips, and I definitely.
Hold on. So you would say you would date me if I was darker? Is that what you were saying?
I would date you as is, you know.
Oh, well, thank you.
I would date you as is, you know. But I also prefer a woman that has a beautiful smile, and I kind of have like a height. I don't like women that are my height or higher or taller, I should say, not higher.
How tall are you?
I'm 6'2".
Oh wow! Oh wow! I didn't know you were that tall.
6'2". Yeah, 6'2".
Like your girlfriend's 6'5". Like, hey, baby.
I don't want. No, I definitely want to look up to my girl in a different way. I want to look up to her, but not physically.
Right.
And you know, dancing to me is one of my favorite things. I love dancing with my woman, and but with heels on, it's if she's eye level with me, it's still a kind of uncomfortable feeling if she's eye level. So I prefer, you know, even though I've had a woman that's eye level with me with the 3-inch heels on, it's cool. But I prefer a woman that's kind of like the 5'5" to 5'7" range. But athletic is really key because I like to work out, bike, swim, run, and just be competitive out there. So if you didn't know, I love skydiving and hang gliding and cliff jumping. I love anything extreme. The craziest thing I've ever done was cage dive with great white sharks. Well, at least I went to South Africa for that. The great white did not come to our boat, but some bronze whalers did, which were also large sharks. But I didn't get to be in the cage with the great white. But I'm a thrill seeker, so I also like thrill seekers, women that like to push the envelope, that like to challenge their bodies. I like classy women that present well in public. Very educated, intelligent women that can carry a conversation regardless of the circles that are around her. And I like people that give back and don't look down at other people because of what they have or don't have. I like people that see equals regardless of socioeconomical factors.
Mm-hmm. What about African-American women? Which race is your preference?
I like my number one is African American. My number two is Afro Caribbean. I've always been able to identify with people that could identify with us.
What about? I remember. Sorry, whoever wrote this, I can't find the comment. But what about hair texture? Somebody did ask about hair texture.
Yeah. Yes, because that came up in one of the panels. So I know that's a big question.
Okay.
I like natural hair texture. So whether it's curly, I like it. Whether it's straight, I like it. I want it to be natural is what I prefer. But I know nowadays it's a thing for women to change it up with the braids and the weaves and the wigs. And it's just being, you know, that whole Beyonce, just change it up, keep the guys guessing. So variety is good. Diversity is good with the hair, but I prefer natural hair.
Yeah. Real quick question from Jamie Alexander. What's up, boo? One of the panelists. Yes, you already know who Jamie is.
Oh, Jamie.
Yeah, that's Jamie.
Jamie can't come on.
No, she can't come on. Yeah,
you gotta do another one with her.
She wants to know, when was your first heartbreak and what residual effects did it leave on your heart, if any?
I knew Jamie was going to come with a good one. So I wanted to marry one girl in my life. I did all the diamond research, cut, clarity, and carat. And I was thinking about where I wanted to propose. Got all the way to that level in life. And I was just in my younger 40s. I told y'all this is when I wanted to really settle down once I got to my 40s. And because of some past trauma in her life, she was in therapy, and we also did the therapy sessions together because of some of the things she was going through with her ex-boyfriend. He was abusive, and it was hard for me to give her the support that she needed. I didn't know how to support someone that had this type of trauma other than just listening and loving her. But there were struggles because she had a fear that other men would be like this. She had a hard time trusting men, and even sometimes had a fear of trusting me, and also had a fear of abandonment. She thought that I was going to leave her, just because the person that she loved and that hurt her ended up leaving her, even after she stayed through that abuse. So it didn't work out. Make a long story short, Jamie, my heart broke for the first time in my life for a woman. I never knew what a woman was meaning when they said he broke my heart. So a lot of guys don't understand this feeling because they never had this feeling. But I couldn't even sleep properly. I didn't have an appetite. There was truly a pain inside my chest because there was no sleep or a lack of sleep. I wasn't eating properly. And what this person was going through, I did not know how to help. I didn't know how to support her properly. So my heart was broken. So in that moment, I knew for the first time why men should be very, very delicate and compassionate when a woman says, hey, I feel like you're breaking my heart, or I feel like, you could break my heart. There's depth to that statement and to those feelings. And that was in my early 40s for the first time I had that experience. And like I was telling Kojo the other night, I didn't have these experiences in high school or in college. I only had one long-term relationship in college for 4 years, and it only lasted 1 year. Most of my relationships happened in my 30s. And then the one I'm talking about was in my early 40s. And so just an 11-year span of my 48-year life was what I was in committed relationships. But that first heartbreak was in my early 40s. The residual effects, I don't want to feel that ever again. But of course, I couldn't control what happened to her. It was no fault of her own. It typically never is. But the residual effect for me, if I were to think about that right now, what would I say? That I will just continue to be. I think it has reinforced my ability to always be honest with my conversation with the woman that I love. That way, there's no surprises, there's no shock value, and that she can make a decision whether or not she wants to continue growing with me or moving in a different direction based on her needs.
Okay. Thank you, Jamie, for your question. Shout out. Hey, boo, hey, boo, hey. All right. So we're going to go ahead and turn it over to Tyrone. Thank you for being so patient.
Yeah. You said tough question, but no, it's not tough. Do you remember what rock bottom was for you?
On the show or outside the show?
In life.
In life, rock bottom. Learning about what my mother truly was going through after my father passed away. Just how hard it was for her. And she had an outlet, but it wasn't us, the closest people to us. And I just wish that we knew what my mom was going through as a single mother raising 5 children. after abuse occurred. And so I just wish that was rock bottom for me and my family, because, sometimes you're too late to support. You're too late to save. Like, the damage has been done, right?
Was this a recent discovery?
No. This was when I was a kid. This was when I was a kid. Yeah, that's rock bottom when I was a kid. So you want something as an adult?
No. Just whenever you remember rock bottom and was willing to expand on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, there was going to be a follow-up question, but I feel like you may have answered it. I was going to ask, who is your biggest inspiration and why?
I don't really have faves, but Dr. King, President Obama, Nelson Mandela, and Muhammad Ali. These are all 4 people that I've looked up to as mentors that I've never met. But they all made lasting impressions on me, because all of them spoke their minds in different ways, and they had long, far-reaching impacts on our race, like Muhammad Ali. Not too many people can speak their mind during that era and say what they wanted to say, but he did it because he was loved as a boxer, as a fighter, and but he was as real as it gets, frank as it gets. Look at Nelson Mandela's reach and the whole apartheid question, or Barack Obama and how he changed the definition of what Black excellence really is, or what the Black family dynamic can look like. That way, people that never even had a Black experience can say, oh, they're not just help, they're not just entertainers, they're not just athletes. They're some of the most brilliant minds in the world, like a Frederick Douglass. And so I'm happy that these influences exist, far in the past as well as present day. Like, the most powerful woman in the world to me is Michelle Obama right now, and what she's doing. And so I think it's great to have these types of leaders amongst us, either in heaven form or on earth.
One more quick question. Would you let your daughter date you?
Yeah, of course. I'm a gentleman.
I was getting ready to say, how you gonna answer that question? You know he gonna be like,
yeah. Despite of what you saw in that last episode on Elimination Day, I'm a gentleman, man, and I typically stay calm and composed in all situations, and that's the reason why I hated seeing that, and my mom couldn't stand seeing that part. But that's not me, man. Like, that's not me. I know that you said, Tyrone, was like, I want to see when Sampson, I think you said something like, I want to see because he's so perfect. I want to see when he's presented with something that is not in agreement with him.
Yeah, I said I want to see how you handle conflict.
I'll handle conflict. And I my own personal conflict, I handle very well. Conflict resolution, I handle so well on my own that I became an instructor for conflict resolution. So I became an instructor, how to actually diffuse situations, to manage them better. So yeah, I'm pretty good at it. I reached a boiling point. It had nothing to do with the person I was in front of. It had more to do with the timing, production, my brother being picked up by Uber.
Okay. You don't have kids, right?
Not yet.
Is that something that you regret?
No, I never wanted kids early on. I have 11 nephews and nieces. A lot of my siblings were early with that process. Everyone in the family telling me, hey, go at your own pace. We don't need to rush like everybody else. And if my wife, if I do get married, if she wants to have children, then like I said on the show with Tommy, I'll hook it up.
I got a question, and this is the question I wanted to ask earlier, but we've been jumping all over. So this is about the show. Mm-hmm. So in one of the interviews, and I want to say that I did not see this interview, so I feel like it's hearsay at this point, but I could be wrong, but I could be right. In one of the interviews, you had mentioned that you really wasn't feeling Sharice like that. Like you wasn't feeling her. You wasn't like, you just wasn't feeling her. So if you weren't feeling her, like, and then you said that you weren't really feeling any of the women. So if you weren't feeling her like that, then why did you act like you were? Why did you act like you were interested in her? Because when you were getting the facial with her at her salon, she was asking you these questions and you were like, why are you asking me these questions? Like, you and I, we've talked about these questions. I've answered these questions. So obviously the questions of her trying to find out how you feel about her, you obviously told her how you felt about her off camera. But why did you act like and tell her like you was feeling her when in the interview you said you wasn't really feeling her? Like, I want to know, like, was it because you were playing the game, or was it because you were just wanted to stay in the, like, I'm not like, I just want to kind of have an understanding, like, did you really like her, or like, no? Like,
yeah, I liked her as a person, and I really did. Sharice is a good person.
mm-hmm.
And I like the fact that she's super honest. I just did not see myself with her. Her personality type is doesn't gel with my personality type, you know. But I think she was ready to love. Our conversations were really not about us, you know. Our conversations were about my family, you know, what I do, her family, what she does, but it wasn't about us building together, you know. It never was like that. I do know that we had some very intimate conversations,
Mm-hmm.
and that's the reason why I want to continue to know her. But she knows that there's not an opportunity for us, you know. I think she knew there was an opportunity for us on the show. Again, the conversations were cool, but they weren't meaningful for a relationship to blossom. And so, yeah, the salon, just to draw some emphasis on the salon experience, there were a lot of questions that, she didn't have questions for me when we just talked on the phone, off camera. There were no questions. The only time that she would say things was on camera, you know. So I started to wonder, like, why are you saving stuff for the camera? You know, if you really want to know some stuff, we talk every day. We talk
But
throughout
what
the day.
what about the part when you were asked about Sharice and you was like, oh, Sharice, she's my oxygen. She's this, she's that, you know, like y'all were like,
Yeah,
I mean,
I like her. I like Sharice. I do.
mm-hmm.
You know, so she was fun to be around. She's actually a funny person. And by the way, she liked my corniness. She liked how corny I was. She laughed at everything. We laughed. You know, that's why I want to have a friendship. And my girl is okay with me having a friendship with her. She knows she knows it's TV. You know, but when I say, you know, the oxygen statement, you know, it was refreshing to be around someone that I knew whenever she was talking to me that everything was real, genuine, and honest. Everything she said, and that's what I liked about her the most. But I didn't see her as someone I wanted to grow with intimately.
And she knew that.
I really believe she did. I really believe she did.
She didn't.
How do you know?
Because she told me and us. like you have
to not told me that.
I mean, she said it when your girlfriend, your ex-girlfriend came.
And well, you talking about the choose me thing? Pick me?
Like,
no, come on. I mean, again, you got to remember there's things being said in the lounge with the gentleman. There's things being said off camera over the phone with me and her. You know, I didn't see that. And I know that y'all saw the camera part, but there's a side of the non-camera that didn't add up for me. So I think she was also playing, you know, the process, you know.
I get it. So you're saying also too, off camera, it was like it wasn't the interest. You were like, wait a minute, she ain't really feeling me like that. I mean, because I get it, because I kind of experienced.
I'm not her type. I'm not her type. You know, I'm not her type. You know, and I don't think that. I think when she was telling me my family, she was like, Samson, my family would like you. And even after the show, she says her family likes me. And that's, I've met some of her family, you know.
Can I ask you another question real quick, Samson, before I forget? I'm sorry, don't be mad at me. Are you more attracted to her friend when you went to go visit her friend? Are you more attracted to her than you was with Sharice? Because the way y'all was looking at each other, I was like, oh, that's his type. That's his type. To me.
Well, Rochelle and I have more in common than Sharice and I. Yeah. And could I see myself with Rochelle or Sharice? Probably with Rochelle.
More so than Sharice, because once I asked you earlier about like what so she is actually more your type, because she's actually as soon as you walked in the door, I saw a connection.
Yeah, both of them beautiful.
Right.
And by the way, Tyrone, my energy is like that. You know, when I meet people, you know, I'm a bubbly, outgoing, upbeat, energetic kind of guy. I think I saw something you said like, why is he all extra with Rochelle when he walked in? You said that, didn't you? Or is somebody else?
Yes, I said that.
You saw the connection.
Yeah. I mean,
she likes you too.
It's funny. I don't know if y'all watch these trailers that somebody puts together for Ready to Love that has all the sub notes. You almost forget it.
Yeah. I thought it was a lot. I thought the intro was a lot. Hey,
the intro was a lot.
I'm Samson.
But it was good. But the intro was a lot with the dog too. I'm like that with dogs. I'm like that with people. Like the bottom line is this, Sabrina. Her personality, Rochelle's personality, and our conversation. She has a lot of depth, you know, and she's super intelligent, and as does Sharice. But our chemistry was different. I felt my chemistry with Rochelle was very different than my chemistry with Sharice, and I think a lot of the audience thought the same thing just from what I was reading.
Yeah, I'm sorry to cut you off because I was like, I'm gonna forget, and then it was relevant to what you were talking about. So
a lot of people have been bringing that one up, Rochelle.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Tyrone, you got anything? I'm sorry.
Tyrone has a lot.
I mean,
Tyrone wants to speak up for
course
Jamie
there is.
And Gus. I know they have questions that they wanted to ask.
I mean, I felt like we addressed a lot of what would have been asked. I mean, if there was
Can I ask you a question? Can I ask you a question, Tyrone?
Sure.
Do you think I showed up and played the process on the show? Not like you, but do you feel like guys that have been on this show in previous seasons, did they play the process like I did, or like Randall did, or Mike, or just go through the process, having your tops and not telling girls, you know, I'm not feeling you? What do you think?
You really want to? All right.
Yeah.
I think a lot of it was about image for you. I honestly don't feel like you wanted anyone after day one. And I felt like you wanted the world to love you. And you got to a point to where you realized that emotions were getting involved. And very similar to Randall, the accountability wasn't there for you to just tell the women it's not there, you know? And you just said it yourself. She knew. And obviously she didn't, you know? So yeah, those are my thoughts.
I don't have an image other than my professional image, really. Remember, I don't have a brand or a business.
But you are the brand. Samson is your brand. Samson is the brand, not the company, not making money. The way you feel about yourself is your brand that you are protecting, or you seem to protect on the show.
Total. Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, I do care about reputation and image, and I speak about that I speak about it in a way to how you want to progress in life. I think I told you, Ty, that I retired during the pandemic. And so I got to that point in life because of, hard work, me listening to people, success stories and failures, and learn what to do and what not to do. And so a lot of it is public perception, image, saying the right things, doing the right things, and then learning from your own mistakes. And so when you do that consistently, no matter where you're at, whether it's on camera or not, you try to just protect what you've built. You want a better return on investment, regardless of if you're on TV or if you're just, supporting a homeless shelter. You want to be the same person everywhere you go because it's worked for you.
I totally get that. I totally understand that. I totally support that. But I also feel like there's a difference in doing it because you genuinely want to do it and you doing it because you are protecting your brand. Organizations do it all the time. Companies do it all the time. When there's something going on in the world, they're going to create a commercial. They're going to make a movement. They're going to send a letter out to everybody in the organization about where their stance is going to be. Mm-hmm. And oftentimes it's to protect the brand, right? So I am a fan of integrity, right?
Yeah, me too.
So me personally, I'll just speak for myself. I question the purpose of doing it, which is why I asked about the gifts. And I asked for the gifts because it's something that you genuinely wanted to do, or was it because you were worried about the image?
I wanted the ladies to truly have a real feeling. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, go ahead. You can answer. Go ahead.
Yeah. So I wanted the lady to smile with not just conversation, but something that they can go home with. That was the gift, man. The gift was just me being me. This is what I do. And also something that they can smile about. It made them smile, man.
But why did you want them to smile?
Because we're on a dating journey together. I don't have to be a part of their future as a lover or as a love mate or a husband, but I can still have a good experience on this journey with them. I think that you got to remember Looney, Brandy, Shakira, and even Charisse with the puzzle. They like their gifts, man. They like their gifts. They did. Right.
So this is why I asked the question earlier. So you mentioned the process. You mentioned the dating show. That's why I asked you, do you feel like the gifts could have been misleading?
I think that now, yes. I did not think that they would be misleading Tyrone during the show.
Okay, we'll make us a
during the show, no. During the show, I did not think it was going to be misleading. I thought that they would be able to talk about it and realize this is Sampson dating one person. That was my interpretation because I was not looking at what the other girls were doing in comparison to one another. Like what Brandy did for me and how she was treating me, I wasn't saying, well, hold up, Looney's not doing that or Charisse is not doing that. I realized that they were on the same journey with me, the same process. So even if say for instance, even if Looney did the same thing for me, right, brought me a gift every time because that's just how she moves, or got a gift for everybody, I should say, every one of her connections, I wouldn't have been like, hold up, Looney, you're getting gifts for all the guys, like I'd have been, my interpretation would have been like, okay, that's how Looney moves. She's a gifter. She shows up with gifts. But so I didn't think it was like Iverson said, we talking about practice. I'm saying right now, we talking about gifts.
Okay, so yes, it is a gift, but I'm trying to get to the underlying reason why you were getting the gifts, why you're putting in effort to get to know them, why are you putting in effort to truly understand what the gift would mean to them. That takes effort, that takes time. I feel like that's more than just being a nice guy, because you could have just picked up a cup of coffee on your way there. Do you know what I mean? Like there was more to it. seemed like it was more to it than that.
A cup of coffee is just $5. It's no thought. I just want to do something that was thoughtful, shows them that I was paying attention to our conversation. I was paying attention to what we were saying.
Okay.
So I was just, all I was trying to do was just add a little bit of thought. It's maybe an extra $10 versus a cup of coffee, you know, but I just wanted to do something meaningful, man. I wanted to make them smile, bro. That's all I wanted to do. I wasn't trying to lead them on. I don't think Brandy's like, okay, so he got me a journal and pens. That means he's into me.
No. I understand, right? That it's not that serious, which is why I was also asking about the public perception. Do you know what I mean? Because you didn't have to, right? Yeah, you could have made them smile
just through dialogue.
Yes,
I get it. I'm kind of extra when it comes to wanting to have a meaningful interaction. And by the way, I'm only if you knew what I do with coworkers, you know, you'd be like, why are you like this with coworkers? You know?
Yes, that's what we're trying to figure out. That's what we're trying.
I'm like this
to pull out of you. Why are you extra? Why do you extra?
I'm just a giver, man. I'm just a giver, bro. With time, with energy, with resources. I like hearing things over the years from friends. Sampson did this for me, and I appreciate it. And I like when I can say the same thing. So Tyrone did this for me, you know, and I appreciate it. So I just like the exchange of the people in my life and how they perceive me in their life. And I like being I like friends like that.
Okay. I like that. We're getting to know Sampson.
Yeah.
That's the intent of
I still like you, man. I still like you, Tyrone. I hope you like me, man. Go ahead.
Oh, it wasn't about that. I'm
messing around, bro.
Yeah.
So I know we talked earlier, and I hate to even bring this up, but I know Sampson, you even asked me, did I find the clip? So I found the clip finally.
Kojo?
I found the clip with Kojo. Yes. So that's what I've been doing, try to find this dang on clip.
Medication. I'm always like, yo, play the clip back, please.
Yeah, like rewind the tape back. So, oh God, I got one bar. So if I lose you guys, but I'm gonna play and shout out to Kojo. This is Kojo's footage. Just to let everybody know, and everybody knows that I love Kojo. But this is his footage, and I just want to say shout out to him. If you are not subscribed to his channel, make sure you definitely subscribe to his channel. But I am going to play the clip that we discussed earlier. And I know it's 228 of you in here right now. And it was closer to almost 300 of you in here when this was happening. And I'm just going to refresh y'all's memory. So probably about almost 2 hours ago, we were talking about the situation with Sampson and what happened when he was on Kojo's channel interviewing him, and he had brought up Kojo's twerking and the whole thing about does he like men or women came up. And some people were in the chat saying one thing, and Sampson was like, that's not what I said. So Sampson wanted us to rewind the tape back, and I finally found the part in Kojo's interview. So I'm about to play that now. Okay. And because this is Kojo's footage, so I just want to definitely give him a shout out and say thank you for allowing me to use this. All right, here we go, guys. Hold on one second. Let me, okay, there we go. I'm going to do this.
Thank you so much for finding it.
You're welcome. Because I know you asked me, and I was like, he wants me to find, I'm going to find it. So give me 1 second.
I think a lot of people, they're texting or cooking or doing kids' homework, or there's a lot of distractions when they're watching these panels or TV, and they're missing a lot of what's really happening. So I don't blame anybody because people are busy.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, here we go. Here we go. All right, I'm gonna play it now.
Wherever you want, wherever you come into town, man, I can fly. I would love to host you and introduce you to some good people, man.
Hey, listen, I ain't got a girl, so you can introduce me to whoever you want. But yeah,
I was going to ask you, man. I was going to ask you, dude, because I saw you twerking on one of your IGs. I was like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know too many men that twerk. I said, I'm just wondering if you like guys or girls. So you like women.
What do you think? You think I'm gay?
No, I'm just asking. Oh, you go both ways?
Nigga, are you? I know you've been mad. You've been waiting to try and get me for one. I hear you. I understand.
I said,
you wanted to get at me. I appreciate it.
I told some of the cast members, like, Sam, you gonna get into Kojo, huh? I was like, no, I'm gonna see if he comes, and I'm gonna see if he comes. I was ready for you, but you didn't come for me. But I saw you twerking the other day. I was like, none of my boys twerk. You know what I'm saying? I don't know about Kojo.
Get into it.
Huh?
They need to get into it. They need to get into it. Tell them to see me. Help
all right, good. I'm glad you like women, man. I got some good women in my circles, man. So yeah, if you're ever around, and I'll definitely introduce you to good people.
So long as they're not too close to you, because if you're not accountable, they're not accountable. So
see, laughter the entire time.
Yeah, I was talking about when you felt like he questioned you about Black women. Yeah, that's what I was referring to.
Yeah.
And then you came back, and then your rebuttal to that was to talk about the twerking. So I think we missed probably 2 minutes before we started.
True, you're right. Almost like 2 hours before we started that one. Yeah. But yeah, I know what you're saying. That one part prior to.
Mm-hmm. So were you mad?
No, man.
That he asked? That you felt like he questioned?
No. There's no mad energy in any of that interview. So the only if you watch that interview in its entirety, it was a great interview, man. It was a great interview. He's so chill, dude. Okay. And I was looking forward to it. But I thought that he was going to come because he represents Jay, Sean, as well as there's a lady named Seaway. Yeah. And so I thought that he was going to, pull some of their dilemmas with the show into our interview, but he didn't. So I was ready to answer any questions.
So how do you feel about the clip that was just played? Do you feel like?
Well, you saw I was playful. I was just being playful. Like I was saying earlier to you, I thought that he knew that I was more so just talking about his twerking, clowning him for twerking. Like dudes shouldn't be twerking is what I'm saying. And so this is the storm here, and that's taking place in Tampa.
Okay.
This is really bad weather. The lights just went out. So not all the lights. We have backup generator power. So do I feel bad about the interview with him? No. I was really happy with it. I feel bad about what we went through, Ty. Me, you, and Sabrina early on when we were talking about Jeremy. So again, I apologize to Jeremy.
What if I told you that was like traditional dance based off of his background and heritage and not necessarily twerking?
No, I would say that I know exactly what you're talking about. And I know the traditional dance that he does as well that's common. I was talking about when he was actually twerking.
Okay.
Yeah. I know what twerking is, I ain't that out of touch.
Okay.
And I love traveling to Africa, so I know a lot about African dance.
Okay. Just pick it. Yo, you don't feel like I'm against you, do you?
No. I just think that sometimes you don't understand my responses. And so I feel like I'm a good communicator, but sometimes I think you're looking for sometimes a different answer, or an answer that your audience will want to see or hear. And I would just expect a little bit more grace with a guest on your show.
Okay, I can definitely do that. I know sometimes my brain finishes sentences that my mouth doesn't. I get it.
Yeah.
But I think we could all extend grace because I'm trying to get the answer from you in a way that would be understandable by the audience, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I know it's just me and you, but I'm also thinking about, you know, the other hundreds of folks that may not be comprehending, you know?
Yeah. On that point, I try to give responses that don't have follow-up questions or gives more than what is asked for to just create the next question and answer, because I know this is a Q&A. So I just wanted to sometimes, okay, they're asking this question, let me answer it, let me give a little bit more and then elaborate to prevent the follow-on. That way we can just go to the next question. But it's okay. I'm learning different communication styles. Mine is not the right one. It's just one of them.
Yeah, I mean, there's no right or wrong. I mean, I feel like just us as the folks who are the host trying to get an answer and understanding, like it's almost our job to ensure that we have some clarification and that it's clear so we don't have to ask you again.
Right.
You know?
Can you hold on for
Sure.
Okay, hold on for a little bit.
Sure. How y'all doing? Welcome to hour 3 of Q&A with Samson Daruvala. I hope we're getting a lot of the information that we were looking for. I will just explain my approach again. You know, having gone through the experience, like I know how it can be, and I know how I was portrayed on the show. I know how I felt during the show. I know what I wanted to portray during the show was the total opposite of what I felt I was as a person and as a man. And I just felt like the interviews were a way for me to clear things up, but without trying to clear things up. I just felt like, you know, eventually the people are going to see who you are. And, you know, the interviews are for you to show the real you. And I feel like the interviews are some of the things that had helped me. So when I interview someone and I'm on a panel or they're up with me, my goal is to bring clarity and for the person that's being interviewed to shine a different light on themselves, right? To shine the light that they wanted the show to shine on them. That's all. So when I'm asking a question, it's not meant to stump anyone. It's meant for them to show their true selves. So I'm not trying to be hard. I'm trying to be even keeled the whole time. I feel like I'm being understanding and all that. So yeah, and sometimes you really gotta, you know, pull information out of people. And I get it. I understand that. So yeah. So I'm not sure what Sabrina wants to do. I'm sure she'll know when she comes back. Do we have any questions or comments or statements that you would like me to focus on? Monet says basically, Ty, you seem like you're coming for him and trying to trip him up. And Samson, you look like you're running when you talk in circles. So yeah, you know, I can address this a little bit. Yeah, they are kind of probing. That is my style. My style is to get people to be vulnerable. My style is to get you to show a little bit about yourself. That's not face level, right? Who is the real you? Do you know what I mean? So from my perspective, it's okay to be a little bit vulnerable. It's okay to say that you were wrong. It's okay to grow, right? And I want you. So when I'm interviewing someone, I also want them to understand what may have been a negative for them, figure out what the answer was to fix that, and then grow and be a better person. And if that's something that they can understand or take away from the interview or from the experience, then we both win.
Are you doing this because you're trained in the area or because of your personal?
I am not trained. I don't feel like I've ever taken a class, but I feel like I have, admittedly, I feel like I have been blessed with the ability to see things and understand things that other people may not see. And I also feel like I have the ability to be empathetic, so I can word it in a way that doesn't come off harsh, even though I'm still saying the same exact thing.
Fair.
I've had a meetup group for over 10 years. It's like 10,000 people in that meetup group. So I do a lot of mentorship. I talk to a lot of people. And sometimes, because of the amount of people that I talk to, I don't have, the ability to be too wordy, because there's 10, 15 other people waiting to talk to me. So yeah, that's it.
I love it. Thank you for what you do, man.
Mm-hmm.
So where are we? What's going on? Somebody asked where I was. So my daughter's sick, guys. Yeah, I just went to go check on her because we've been on here for a while. So I just wanted to check on her.
Glad she's feeling better.
She's okay. She's okay. Yeah. So what?
Aren't you going to bring anybody on? Nobody wants to come on with us?
Well, somebody was on, but they got off. So Tyrone, did you go in the starred section or did you just pull that from the screen?
I did not go to the star section
at
all.
Okay. So let me go ahead and get to
There's a lot there.
questions. Yeah, because I know
we could do some rapid fire, right, Samson?
Yeah.
Rapid fire. Roger that. I'm ready.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. So T-Ro would like to know, will you be doing any more interviews after this one?
So yes, I had to push all my interviews to the right, and so this is the reason why last week and this week is when they all started for me. So I'm behind the 8 ball. So yes, I'll be doing. I got a whole lineup. Yes.
Okay. Shannon Grubbs would like to know, were you ever bullied?
I just grew up with 2 older brothers that were not bullies, but they were big brothers. And they just really enhanced my competitive drive, but never bullied.
Yeah. Okay. I was getting ready to say, yeah, because that's definitely not being bullied. That's just, you just had some tough love from your friends.
Yeah, it's tough love.
What did you gain from being on the show?
Some good relationships from some guys and girls. The behind the scenes experience on what it takes to be behind cameras. Mm-hmm. And opportunities, plural, to be in front of a camera again.
Mm-hmm. Acapella would like to know, what did you study in college?
Psychology and Spanish with an emphasis on business. Morehouse College.
Do you plan on taking any trips?
I never stop.
What are your dating criteria? What is your dating criteria and standards?
So it kind of is the same as where it was when I was in college. I created a list of 10, my top 10, and I know this is a rapid fire, so I'll be quick. All these words all start with the letter C. So Christian woman, a conversationalist, classy, clean. I say clean, I'm like clean body, clean tongue, doesn't curse much. The ability to cook well. Charisma, confident, own car, your own crib, and good credit. And so those were the criteria and the standards that I kind of look for, which a lot of women have. And so then it just comes down to the most important C word, and that's chemistry.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Let me see here. Someone said it seems strange that you were encouraging other people to stay on the show, but you didn't want to be on the show.
Yeah, because I knew that there were people that were that saw potential love mates on the show. And they just didn't know if the process was blinding them to those realities. So I wasn't doing matchmaking because I wasn't trying to really be in people's business, but I definitely wanted to encourage some folks that may have been blinded by the process or what was going on behind the scenes, on the chatter is what I call it, by saying, hey, you may want to consider, sticking around. There were a lot of people, particularly women, that wanted to self-eliminate early, like, some of us did,
Yeah.
So, yeah.
What would you change about Ready to Love, or have you stated that already?
Making the rules very clear from the jump that we were all working from the same sheet of music. There's some people that watched the show and had experience with how the show works, but the majority of us never seen the show, like me, and did not know. And so I don't want to be told the rules by another castmate and their interpretation. I want the rules to be discussed. And we met on day one at the pool party at the Mansion Mixer, and the producer was telling us, you can't do this, you can't do that, blah, blah, blah. But it wasn't detailed enough, so I wish that we have a set, like I just gave you a list of 10 criteria. I wish that they gave us some do's 10 and some don'ts 10. And the other thing I wish that there was a male and the female in the lounge, not just Tommy, not just the male perspective. I wish there was a female perspective. And the last thing is that if you tell everybody, yes, there's a process, but date everyone as if they're the only one you're dating. Don't consider what's happening beyond your own personal date. But again, Oprah would have never signed off on that if Will Packer pitched it that way when it first was created. So I totally get why they do that, because that's where all the drama and the ratings come from, is the lounge and what's being shared in the lounge. So without that, there's no show.
Yeah. What did your girlfriend think about your time on the show?
She laughs about it all the time. So she thinks it's funny. She thinks it's cute, and she sees that it's legitimately me. She sees it.
Are you still life coaching?
Yeah, I started mentoring under Homeland Security in 2011. So it's mostly government professionals. But then I started doing my own personal life coaching. Again, no money involved, not a business, no LinkedIn, just for people that actually want my perspective. And I just share best practices and lessons learned, my experiences, my successes, my failures that got me to where I am today.
Any tips on controlling anger for young Black men?
Think before you speak. Read the book called Pause Principle. That allows you to take a step back, breathe, and prevent that knee-jerk reaction or that anger from blossoming or from rising up. It's breathing, and it's the whole namaste yoga meditation, just understanding what's before you, the stimulus that's before you, and forcing a different, sometimes unnatural, atypical reaction to ensure that the anger does not fester.
Tiffany would like to know, did you want to get into acting full time since you're retired?
No, I never thought I'd be an actor, and I probably never will be. Who knows? I'm open to it. So they said I need to start taking some classes and put together my, what is it called? DPQ or EPQ? I'm not key. I mean, what is it, digital press kit?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what it is.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Do you get turned on by foreign accents?
Yes.
Okay. That's actually all the questions. So unless you guys want to ask some real quick questions before Tyrone wraps it up and before we wrap it up, shoot them in there real quick. I'm going to send it over to Tyrone, and then we're going to go ahead and get ready to wrap it all up.
Oh, man. I mean, I just feel like as a host, seeing some of the things that have occurred tonight in the conversations, are all part of it, right? It's not going to be all great. It's not going to be all bad, but I feel like in the end, being adult enough, being emotionally mature enough to understand both sides and be able to have that conversation is what's needed, right? It's almost, I feel like it should be a requirement, right? Even if you haven't read the book. Right? And I feel like people can learn from some of these conversations, some of these types of conversations, and the way that things have occurred, on the show, not just with Sampson, but with everyone. It could all be learning experiences, teachable moments, what have you. I did kind of explain my process before while Sabrina and Sampson were away. But for me, I'm big on integrity. I'm big on, the accountability. I'm big on growth, and I'm big on, the mental health. So when I'm asking, the panelists, how you doing, it's because I know that it's not easy, and I know that it's not easy to say that you're not okay, right? And I'm trying to, let everyone know that it is okay to not be okay. We've all gone through things. We've all experienced things. Like some of us were literally on a show,
Oh yeah.
And me personally, I had an anxiety attack, and I talk about that quite often. And I mentioned on the show, I don't know, you probably didn't see it, Sampson, but
no,
my very first date, I mentioned being diagnosed with PTSD. So it is a big deal to me, and I'm rooting for all my fellow castmates, right? I want everyone to win. And I truly try to be as empathetic as I can and supportive as I can. So I'm really not trying to get at anyone at all, even when they ask for it.
I wanted it.
So yeah, like y'all know where to find me. Ty Wilson 21. Pick a platform. I'm probably there, but I'm most likely on YouTube and IG and Twitter. Right. So I hope everyone enjoyed, what we were able to bring tonight. Sampson, thank you. Yeah, Sabrina, man. Thank you as always. The audience, thank you. I think,
yeah. And shout out to you, Tyrone, for being transparent and putting it out there, and everybody knows, and everybody that knows Tyrone, everybody that knows me, because this is your season. Like, you're just now getting into it. Like, we've been in it. It's 2 seasons later. People know about me. People know and understand the reason why I was triggered at the reunion, because, I grew up being bullied. I was suicidal because of it. I dealt with domestic violence. That was, also said. I mean, so it's like, we don't do this to try to, like, for props or for recognition or for, I just wanted to be able to, I know when we were on the show, I watched other vlogs and YouTube videos, and I saw how people were going in on us, and it was in a very, very negative light. They were calling us out of our name and saying just some really nasty things about us. And I said, you know what? I was like, how about I make a platform and we do exactly what they're doing, but we do it on a whole nother level. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, wow. That's how this came about.
That's how this started, because of the things that people were saying about us, and it was really nasty. That's why when people come on here and they be trying to go on me and go for me, like, Sabrina, you just trying to be messy. I'm like, you don't know who I obviously am and what I'm about. And so, and I just want to get, say shout out to everybody that, supports me, supports Tyrone, supports Kojo, Mr. Vita Joe, actually Aubrey, Kamisha Reviews. I mean, it's a bunch of us. Really BTV.
Vita Joe.
It's J Dub. First time home viewer, no, first time home tuber. And it's a group of us, and we all really do support each other. And that's why, like, when some castmates or some people go on these interviews and go on this channel and go on this channel and say one thing and go on this channel, in real life, like, we all support each other, and a lot of us, we all talk to each other. So it's like, when it doesn't make sense, we all talk about how stuff just not making sense, you know, and I just want to say also too, like, my, you know, supporters, my subscribers over here are the same ones that's on Kojo's channel, or the same ones that's on actually Aubrey's channel, or the same one, you know. And it's like we watch each other's, we go on each other's comments. Hey, what's up? Hey, y'all, you know, make sure you hit the thumbs up for Kojo, you know, and Mr. Mita Joe will come over here on my, you know. So we all try to stay positive, and this is just a community that we have all built, and we really do try to be respectful. It doesn't mean we're not going to ask the hard questions. It doesn't mean that we're not going to, you know, go in or whatever every now and then. And we all have a different style of what we do and how we present our channels to the viewers, you know. So, but I do definitely want to say shout out to you, because I know it's tough. And, you know, you slid in our DMs and you sent us that video like, oh my God, Sabrina, you should have seen your face on the elimination date when I did my watch party. Yeah. And you were like, oh my God, Sabrina, you should have seen your face. How hilarious was that? And you were laughing about it. And I didn't think anything was funny, because I wasn't feeling a type of way of what transpired. I just was like, dang, Samson, I just knew how people were going to perceive it and what was about to happen to you, because I know and that's why I did that. Like, wow, like Samson, he about to, like, he don't even know what's about to happen to him, and you didn't know because this is new for you.
Yeah, I had no clue.
We stayed on and talked about that for like 20 minutes. Like, man, like,
exactly. Yeah, like, dag, I was like, he need to get some therapy right now, because he don't even.
But the thing is that you know, they used the algorithm. They showed it 72% likability for that scene. So I didn't see the negativity on Twitter. We didn't, I should say. We didn't see the negativity on Twitter, Facebook, or IG. But we saw it on your YouTube, and I think it was one other. So the likability of that scene was favorable towards me. So I didn't see what was happening.
Right. No, you said that, because when I was on live on Instagram and it was me and Randall, and it had just happened, and I went live after that episode aired when you got eliminated, I was on live like, yo, did y'all see it? And Randall came up with me, and I was like, I know you and Sampson are close. I was like, you need to make sure he okay, because I didn't know if you seen it or not.
Yeah.
I just knew that everybody was going in on you, and I just was like, I don't think he has no idea what.
I had no idea.
About to endure. So, you know, because I get it, you know, and that's why I did that. But it's never. I just need you to understand, like, I can't speak for the people and the viewers and the fans and the trolls. I can't speak.
Right.
I can speak for the YouTubers and the vloggers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
We don't hate anybody. We don't mean anything bad. We don't, you know, it's not any attacks on you. It's really not. I can't speak for all the YouTubers, but I'm saying with our little circle, that's not what we're about. You know what I mean? And I do want to say we appreciate you being a good sport, because you could really be like, F them. I ain't doing no interviews. They could kiss my A. I ain't whatever. They could think whatever. Forget them. You know, like, they want to come at me like they don't even know. Like, you can really go in, and I get it, because it is tough. It's hard. We've been there, you know. So I just want to say shout out to you for going through the process, you know, and for staying positive throughout the whole thing. You know what I mean? And honestly, all the viewers really honestly just want to see at the end of the day is accountability. That's it. Honestly. But, you know, other than that, I just want to say thank you so much, Tyrone. I appreciate it so much. Samson, I appreciate you. Please let everybody know. Oh, are you working on anything, any projects that you would like to tell everybody about, or anybody about, if you can tell them, and also what platforms you would love for them to follow you on?
With God _ is my IG. Starting to do TikTok. I don't even know how to find me. I think it's I_am_Samson. They're telling me I need to start posting more, so I'm trying to post more. Projects, more to come. But I used to model for Tommy Hilfiger when I was in college, so there's going to be some modeling out there. I did runway. Yeah, I did runway, but this time will probably be print, not runway. So big ups to Shakira, who's out there doing it already.
Yeah.
And yeah, we'll see what happens with film and TV. If there's opportunities, I have a lot of Atlanta roots. I would love to do things with Tyler Perry, or anything with OWN and their partners. So I'm open, and I'm happy that Tommy is on the road to recovery. I'm really happy that he has Jackie. They're supporting him, and he's in the gym. He's pushing iron. He's doing really well. So really happy about that, nephew Tommy. But as it relates to other personal things and ventures, I'm just going to be really traveling whenever I'm not serving, day trading and doing the 40 acres and a mule real estate stuff. So
yeah,
that's my life.
Yeah. Well, thank you again so much. Thank you to everyone that literally watched this from the very beginning to the end. Shout out to everybody that was in the chat. Shout out to my soulmates. I see you guys in the chat that's been hanging in tough. Thank you so much, Tyrone, for taking the time out that you do to join me on this beautiful platform that we have and this amazing thing that we've built together. Other than that, don't forget to like this video. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. If you have not already subscribed, do not forget to subscribe to Tyrone's channel. Hopefully Tyrone can talk to Sampson, because Tyrone has some things working with getting all the men on his platform, and hopefully that'll go through. But other than that, until the next interview, I'll catch you guys later.